from the beginning.
And I was shown that that Lucifer would return, that the UN and the Vatican were going to be completely behind it, again, under false pretenses. He's going to show up and say, I'm here to save the day, right? And okay, fine,
Yeah, of
go
course
ahead,
you can
try
say
it.
whatever you want.
But
I've always hated censorship. It's the internet.
Sometimes, once they get you for your first love bite, well, it depends on how aware you are, right?
I forgot my bullets. I never had a gun. Here I am left standing. Am I the only one? For what I see, memories have guilted me. I'll never see the sun.
First of all, as you know, the Anunnaki and the Draco are enemies. Second of all, underneath Baghdad was a stargate that was created by the Anunnaki so that they could transfer from Jupiter to the Earth.
I'll never see the sun. I could just end it all, but the demons will have won.
Magical practitioners that, some are good and some use their magic for good and to heal and to help, and others do use it for evil. And, in some cases, people really were
This is too much sometimes. From the broken ruins of Babylon, this is End of Days Radio. Welcome everybody. I am your host, Daniel, broadcasting to you all the way from the shimmering Emerald City here in the Pacific Northwest. That's right. Today's date is Saturday, April 22nd, 2023. Our guest today is Zero Hekathos. Zero is from Demonosophy and Beyond. He is here to discuss demons and magic. Today's main topic is going to be Lilith. Also, I want to remind everybody to head over to endofdaysradio.com. From there, you can catch up on all things End of Days Radio. You can see who's coming on the show soon. You can donate to End of Days Radio. Let's not forget to stay tuned after the guest, because we will be doing our, I'm not sure what you call it, our news and topics segment. Talk a little bit of this, talk a little bit of that. It doesn't appear that our guest is here yet. I know that I touched bases with him this morning, and he said he was ready to go. And that was at 8 something this morning. So hopefully we don't have a mix up with the times. I'm not sure where he lives, but that does happen from time to time. I don't really know how far this is going to get, but hey, while we're waiting, we do have Logan, none other than the Mad Philosopher. What's going on, man? Oh, I can't hear you. What's going on with him? He's trying to talk. I can't hear him, though. I just see his lips moving up there on the screen. Nope, can't hear you. Your mic is off or something's wrong. He says, wait a second. We are enjoying this wonderful day at the beginning of spring. I see the daffodils blooming. I see the weather warming up. The birds are chirping. It's going to be a good spring. And hopefully...
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
There we go. There he is. What's going on, man?
Greetings and salutations to all. How's everyone this day?
I'm doing great. I mean, I'm hoping our guest shows up soon, but hey, this happens
Right.
from time to time.
If you want, I can give you a little bit of a backdrop on Lilith to kind of give us a foray into it until he gets here, if you would like.
Sure.
All right. It's been said, and I believe the correct terminology is apocryphal lore, or it could be agnostic, that Lilith was actually the first wife of Adam, and that Lilith was created the same way that Adam was created and wasn't taken out of the rib. And due to a mixing up of Lilith wanted to be independent and Lilith wanted to do her own thing, and Adam wasn't really cool about that, so they kind of fell out of love. And because of that, she was cursed to become the mother of all demons, I believe by God, but I could be mistaken on that one. And then after that, she was kicked out of paradise, and she's been kind of lurking around ever since. And it's been said throughout, like Babylon and other places, that Lilith will go and consume the children of Adam, those with his particular genotype, for DNA, his biological offspring, generations, and all that. And she kind of made it her goal in existence to basically just be a thorn in Adam's side and basically just destroy his bloodline.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I know there's many different versions. Like there's one where...
And the best...
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Worries.
I'll wait.
Go ahead. Oh, well, I was just going to say...
I was just about to say...
We suck at talking, Logan.
We do. We do. Yeah. It's we both want to take initiative,
which is fine. We're just firing off like at the exact same time. But what I was gonna say is, I know that there's one version where Adam and Lilith are copulating, and Lilith is getting on top, and that's not kosher in Adam's opinion. He doesn't want her to do that, and she gets kind of pissed off because she wants to kind of like take the dominant position there. Yeah, and then there's another one where Lilith is actually a lesbian with Eve.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, no, I read about it a long time ago. But what's weird about the whole thing is, like, Lilith is immensely popular. I mean, I know you play video games, right? Like, you're a bit of a PC gamer. And Lilith is actually the main villain in the latest Diablo game.
Diablo, right?
Yeah. Kind of an old school Blizzard game where you dungeon crawl. It was really popular back when I was like in high school and before then. They've had several sequels.
Right.
But you see her a lot in different forms of media and different mythologies. She's more popular. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I've noticed even nowadays that people will go and even invoke Lilith during the little rituals and whatnot, or doing to curse somebody or something. So I've been noticing that a lot too.
Todd asked,
"Where's our demonologist?" Yeah. We're just trying to wait until he gets here. I'm trying to give a backdrop of a little bit of information about Lilith just to pass the time.
Yeah, fortunately, I touched bases with him and emailed him this morning, and just no response. So, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do here. We might just hang out a bit and see if he shows up. I don't know if he had the wrong idea. I sent him, we were supposed to meet at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but some people read that different and they think it's like 1 p.m. their time, wherever they're at. So I'm getting that gut feeling that there was something like that going on where he thought it was supposed to be like way earlier, which is a bummer. But he might be asleep by now, or he might be off doing a ritual. He might be consulting Lilith. She's appearing before him, covered in blood, completely naked, glistening, showing her vampire fangs. Well, hop on cam then, Todd. Let's see if we can have a conversation. We got Logan up here. We're going to be doing some magic like we always do. You were doing something last night, weren't you, Logan? You had some kind of like ritual going on or something like that?
Oh yeah, I was trying to do a 24-hour prayer session, but I only made it like 14 hours, and I was just like, yeah, I'm getting tired. So I just like cut it off and went to bed.
Right on. Shout out to Skate and Destroy. Always good to see you here.
Hey, Scoot.
I've been meaning to do more.
You don't mind if I puff on
magic-oriented
some
shows.
tobacco, do you?
No, I thought this whole time you were smoking weed over there.
Oh, I wish I was. That requires money.
Oh, okay. You're getting the tobacco cheap.
I'm
It's like-
literally picking up tobacco that I find discarded.
Oh,
It's a way to clean
dang.
up, and it's also a way to get tobacco. Yeah, it's kind of a rough month this month.
That's hardcore.
Hey, man, once you've been homeless once, some habits never really leave you.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I mean, I myself was almost homeless. I can't say that I actually know what it's like to live on the streets, but I was close enough that mentally I was there. I was like, in the same, I like to think that I was in the same mind state as the people that, are actually homeless. And in some ways I envy them because I envy their freedom and the fact that they don't have to necessarily adhere to a schedule, even though their lifestyle is far more dangerous and risky. It would be kind of cool to just, have no time constraints on you. You wake up whenever you wake up. And you just, fire up your butane grill and cook some rats or something and just, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just like I kind of think that we do need a little bit of structure and society to a certain extent, just because it's more convenient that way, and it saves up time. Because think about it like this: if you were going to go about your day to day with a job and all that other stuff, you kind of do need these certain services in place. Because if you had to go get your own water, then you had to go shower, then you had to like press your own clothes. Like if you had to do everything yourself that society would provide, life would get more demanding and more tiresome, I would think.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I like to think of the Native Americans, and I know that their lifestyles were not completely devoid of, work or having to adhere to some type of authority, but they weren't working a 9 to 5. They would just go and, catch some whales or some fish and they'd dry the meat. And then probably all winter, they'd probably just chill inside of their teepees and, smoke some ganja and talk to ancestors. I think like what we'll do if our guest doesn't show up, we'll just hang out. I mean, I won't release this show, but I mean, like we can hang out on StreamYard and just kick it for a little bit. It's not a big deal. It doesn't always have to be some big freaking project. We could just come on here and chat. Like that's what you were doing,
Random
right,
day,
Logan?
it's kind of like in school. Yeah, I know, right? Right. It's kind of like in school where we don't have any plans for the day, so we're just gonna put on a movie, put on video day.
Oh, I love that. I love the lazy teachers that would just put on a movie or whatever or a documentary for the kids, and then they just go and like sleep
I
on
know,
their
right?
yeah.
That's my favorite. Those are my favorite days too, man. It's like okay, it's like I get to do the same exact activity I do at home all day. All right.
I had a summer school like that. Like I was basically there's Lee, General Lee. Hop on panel, guys. Todd, Lee, anybody? We're just hanging out. We're not doing a show. We're just chilling.
Maybe they're too. Maybe they're too scared.
Maybe.
And
I doubt that.
I don't know if it's the light or if it's my camera, but I was told that I got like a Logitech, a decent one. And the light is, where's our hero? We don't know, General Lee. We're just chilling. We're just waiting for our friend to appear.
Yeah, I touched bases with him this morning and told him, oh, we got a ways to go. I think we might be having a time zone differential thing, but it's all good. I mean, we'll just hang out and then wait for better days. I'm definitely gonna be booking some major shows soon. I'm finally getting caught up on a lot of crap that I had piling up in the background. Like there's little things that you just don't want to get to because they're a pain. Next thing you know, you got this like 3-page list of stuff that you got to take care of. Well, I'm finally nailing it out. And once I finally get to the last thing on my list, then I'll be free. And there'll probably be more shit piling up. But hey, that's the life of a lazy bastard.
Hey, Daniel, can I say something that's a bit weird?
Go ahead.
Do you know what that ritual that I did last night, right?
Yeah.
Look at the light in my apartment. Like, I'm not like it's covered up and it's shielded and everything. I'm like, I just noticed these little things like how the light is just reflecting more weird in my after I do one of these ritual things. I don't know, man. It's just I wish I had more answers,
Yeah, I feel
Hey,
you on that.
Hey,
Hey,
Todd.
Lee. Hey, Todd.
Now then, General
Oh, it's
Lee.
Todd.
General Lee, Todd, Logan.
Now we got a panel.
What's going on, gentlemen? You all right?
Love to see you guys.
Heck yeah. So, what's the crack, man?
Well, we're just waiting for Zero to get here. Hoping he shows up. If not, we're just gonna chill.
Yeah, that's the only thing this show's been lacking is a demonologist. The last thing on our list.
Yeah, Zero is phenomenal as well.
We got exorcists all over the place, but we don't have a demonologist, an actual licensed demonologist.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, Zero's got a unique take on demons. He doesn't feel that they're like really bad at all. I shouldn't say that. I mean, listening to his other interviews, he sees them as dualistic in their existence.
Right.
I can't help but feel there's some truth to that.
The word demon comes from daemon, which is Greek originally, and the Greeks didn't see the daemons as supremely evil, like super evil. They were a combination of everything. Could be anything, but more extreme was what the daemons were,
Yeah.
Yeah, something to kind of help
I
you.
thought that daemon also either meant knowledge or sending messages from the gods to the mortal realm. I thought that's what that meant.
I think it does mean knowledge of some can't remember exactly. Could probably look up the definition.
I wish I lived back then. I would just go down to the temple, start talking to the prophets and the statues and all that. It was way more freeform.
Every statue could possibly be alive back then. They considered them to be alive, yeah.
Starts just like twisting its head around and talking like some animatronic nightmare.
Like the Medusa from the movie Clash of the Titans or whatever.
Oh yeah.
She's hot, mate. She's hot as fuck.
Totally. So what's everybody doing today? What's going on?
Just thinking about some demons.
Just woke up a little.
Me too.
I'm kind of in recovery. Todd. I'm in recovery from about 14-hour meditation ritual prayer thing that I did last night. So I'm kind of recovering from that.
I'm recovering from a hangover. I stayed up till 6 a.m. drinking.
Right, mate. Well done.
Oh, fun.
So I'm with you.
It's good to have a drink now and then.
Oh, hell yeah. It's healthy for you.
Yeah, you need a blowout, don't you?
Totally. Not every day, unless that's your thing, but once in a while, it's good for you.
Yeah. It is, mate.
I say anytime we're using substances to alter our consciousness, it's a form of ritual.
Totally. Brushing your teeth is a form of ritual, too, though.
Brushing your teeth.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, I guess the rhythmic
It is.
brushing of the teeth.
Anything that you do
Oh,
regularly.
I got a new addition to my book pile that you guys might like.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Oh,
Very nice.
Beautiful.
I have the
Hey, I'm
Egyptian
sorry.
Book of the Dead.
what's that like, Tom?
What's that, General Lee?
What's it like, that, mate? Is it a good read?
Is it a good read, buddy?
Yeah.
Logan, is it a
Got
good
it
read?
at all?
Is it a good read?
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet because what I was actually kind of thinking of doing was I was thinking about reading one chapter at a time or an hour at a time and recording myself doing a read along. So I was actually thinking about like even typing up the text or whatever so people could do like a read along with me. And I was thinking about doing that with a lot of my books for content.
I used
That's
to
a
do
good
that.
idea.
I loved. I've done that before. I did John Keel's Disneyland of the Gods and The Eighth Tower because I love that book so much. I'm like, I'm just going to read it on a tape and then I can play it back to myself over and over.
Especially if you got some like visuals to add to it while you read it, like kind of have a picture up there and change it as you go, like some
Yeah,
little
that'd be-
diagrams and
that'd-
stuff.
Super sweet. Be a
Hey,
killer
I'll tell
idea.
you. I'll tell you
Yeah,
what, it's
hey
a good
Daniel,
book.
it's like what I've also kind of been doing is like this is a link for you to look up later, not right now or whatever. But I've actually been like kind of like watching sometimes when I go and get high or something like that. I'll go and actually start recording like what I'm watching and stuff, and then I'll go and make like additions to it. So I'll like go and edit the video while I'm in that elevated state of consciousness, and the products that I make out of it are pretty interesting.
Sounds
Yep.
good, that, mate.
I've thought
Totally.
about getting into that
I'm
sort
kind
of thing.
I'm kind of wanting just like to figure out like more ways to make more content.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the people that do the like more documentary type of YouTube channels where they like, they have pictures and they get into like alternate history and stuff like that. Some of them do really well. They got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Yeah, totally.
Nice.
Not to mention it puts it adds
I'm
more
just in
value.
that spot right now.
Yeah, not to
Like
mention it
I
adds
like to
more
make
value.
a funny joke, and this is a joke that I'm. Oh.
I was just saying it adds more value to the thing you're creating when you do that.
Right.
Plus,
Yeah,
you're
that
not.
sounds great.
More things to.
Good
Plus,
shout.
you're not like talking about
It's like more
stuff that
things
will
to
get you in
keep
trouble.
and reserve.
I will tell you what is a good read, Dan and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Zero's book, Grimoire of Damnation. It's fucking quality.
Wow, sounds intense.
It's a good
Nice.
book,
It's
mate.
the title.
Yes. Yeah, it's impressive.
I bought a grimoire this evening. Grimorium Verum. One of the most famous ones.
I've seen that one
found
on
it.
Amazon.
What's
Yeah.
that one, Todd? What's it called, mate?
It's Grimorium Verum.
Oh.
And it's one of the famous ones that that's right there in the middle of between the Lesser Key of Solomon and some of the other big grimoires
Yeah,
that everybody references all the time. It has the charts. It's one of the first ones that use the chart with the demons and the hours of the day and
Oh, mate.
the planets and the fucking correspondences, right? That everybody's
I like that.
magicians are always going on about the correspondences.
I like that, mate.
This is translated over from Greek, and it kind of gives you the history too of the different translations that exist. So it's pretty good, pretty cool book here, man. It's
Looks
pretty
good, that,
intense. It'll give you like a basic understanding of demonology and black magic.
Yeah, hey, Lesser Key's decent for fight information on the old demons.
Yeah,
It's a good one. But yeah, when Zero joins, I'll ask him
Zero.
to.
What is Zero here?
What time's you maybe coming on, Dan?
We were supposed to meet up at like 1 p.m., but I think we got our wires crossed somehow.
Is he
When
coming on?
He's supposed to be on already.
When Daniel says one, it's two here. So that gets confusing sometimes.
Yeah,
No,
you know
just-
what I should start doing is I should just do like the work myself. Like if I'm talking to somebody that's on the East Coast, I should just go by their time and not even put my time up there because it gets confusing.
Yeah, it can
Yeah.
do, mate. Do you want me to hit him up?
I mean, if you can, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, still love to get him on here.
1 minute.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what time is it where you're at, Logan?
What time do I got right now? I have 3:26 actually.
3:20. Yeah. So you're an hour ahead of us. So Daniel's the furthest one back in time there. You're actually in the future, Logan.
Yep.
You're 2 hours ahead in the future.
I know, right? And Todd, it's actually Todd. It's actually pretty funny. Look at the light right now. Like I'm using a Logitech webcam and stuff, and the light's just like really bright. But why would that happen coincidentally after I do a meditation prayer last night?
It looks like you're bathed in angelic light or something over there, just coming in behind you.
The gates of heaven are opening.
I don't get it, man. Like I don't get it, right? What?
If you put like a white robe on, right now, you would look fucking angelic. You look like Jesus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I used to I had a picture of myself dressed like a priest on Twitter, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. But then people started saying, "Oh, so you're like a Catholic priest, like a pedo or something?" And I just dropped it right there.
Yeah, bad costume.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bad idea. I thought it was so cool. Oh, I'm like a vampire priest.
I did go as a priest one year, and my girlfriend was dressed up like the Exorcist, so that worked out really well that year. Or she was dressed up like the fucking movie Exorcist, you know. Had her looking all spooky, and I'm carrying a Bible around with a cross hanging on my neck. It was a great costume.
It's crazy how many possession movies are coming out recently. They're literally coming out left and right.
Either the possessions are on the rise or they're priming our consciousness to see more possessed people everywhere. Get used to seeing possessed people, right? And I kind of lean towards the latter. They want us to expect possessed people now. That's why they've been running these TV shows. They want you to think every house could be haunted and that everyone could be possessed by some demon at any moment.
Well, I've always kind of had the feeling you hear a lot of talk about reptilian shapeshifters and stuff like that. I've always felt like those were just normal humans that are possessed, and because they're possessed, they're kind of transforming a little bit. It just seems to me a lot more likely than I'm not to say that these people don't have some kind of weird extra dimensional DNA or something like that, but I doubt they're just
I'll be right back.
Right on.
But yeah, people in mental institutions that have claimed they've been hearing voices for all these years. Is it possible there really is a voice that's talking to them, but we can't see it? There's a lot of questions around that.
That goes into the whole Swedenborg thing. That dude was all about this stuff. He had a very good understanding of the whole voices in the head thing. I mean, it from the perspective of somebody that believes just that these are not just random. And I believe the same thing. I mean, to think that our minds are just so sloppily designed that we just have this chaotic sort of, thing going on inside. I don't believe that. I think everything comes from something. I'm sure a lot of it's our subconscious, but a lot of times, for me, for example, I'll hear very specific ideas and concepts that are not anything that I've experienced and I should not know, even on a subconscious level. Yeah. I guess you'd call them downloads.
Totally.
Oh, I've got a bit of an announcement to make, Dan.
All right.
So, in addition to Subconscious Realms, I'm going to be starting another podcast called Subconscious Rising, and my co-host is Lux from Lux Rising. Yeah, Lux. Lux of the Occult Rejects.
Yeah, yeah. He's definitely a very interesting guy. I was on with him a couple times, I believe.
I like those guys.
He's phenomenal. I know, I was gutted when they parted ways, but because like my circumstances have changed, it's just taking my mind off all the bullshit doing shows, and he's a good friend, Lux, and he's had me back from the start. Every time we do a show, it's fucking mint, and we've just thought, why not?
He sounds like a real solid character. They put on a good.
He is. Yeah, he's brilliant. So, hey, we're going to do our first episode in a couple of weeks.
What's it called again?
Subconscious Rising, it's called. That's like we took Subconscious from Subconscious Realms, and his own podcast is Lux Rising Show. We've used the Rising from it.
I like what you're doing there with your show. Generally, you put on a good raft.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I like that raft you have. You really cover the spectrum.
I'm trying, mate. I'm still learning, but
yeah, we all are.
I feel very lucky to get some of the guests I've got. I mean, like,
heck yeah.
I love every single one of them, mate. They're all fucking fascinating. But I've got Alan Greenfield's coming back on next week. We're covering Brotherhood of Light. Nice. And he's super, super interesting.
Yeah, Brotherhood of Light's a pretty interesting topic.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Have you ever heard of Amarok, the Rosicrucians?
Yeah, I heard of Rosicrucians for sure.
If you go read their literature or whatever, they talk about the Brotherhood of Light, that there's this brotherhood that exists like the Illuminati, but they're good Illuminati.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have heard of that. And they also call that the Great White Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Something like that, mate. Yeah.
Something like that.
Not to be confused with the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, not those guys. Not those guys.
Not that kind of white.
I love it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
They were
believe in
the whole
that
time.
Sort of thing, though.
The Ku Klux Klan was protected the whole time by the government, right?
Sure.
Sanctioned by the local police departments and given the thumbs up by the government the whole time. You know that, right?
Because they ran all the black politicians out of their, seats and out of their local areas and whatnot. The pitchforks and the fiery crosses and all that, especially down in the South.
Wouldn't surprise me that, Todd.
I think the president of the KKK just died like a couple days ago.
Oh, did he? The Grand Dragon or whatever. The Grand Wizard.
Yeah, it's got something like that. Is it the Grand White Dragon or something like that? I could be wrong. I don't know, but it's something like that.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Those are seriously spooky people. Because they're hugging the politicians the whole time, too. Better believe the Ku Klux Klan and the politicians are just like this, right? Hey!
Yeah.
In the United States, one of our senators, his name was Byrd in the 70s, was the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, and he was a senator in the 70s.
And then, of course, there's Albert Pike.
Yeah, and there's
Albert Pike. Good shout, Dan.
Hell yeah!
I believe they saw a statue of him in Washington D.C., not too far from the Capitol.
Joe Biden brags about being buddies with this Senator Byrd that was the Grand Cyclops Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan.
And doesn't surprise me. Biden's racist as hell.
Yeah.
Look
at vote for me or you ain't black.
Totally.
Nobody saw that. We didn't see it.
But somehow 10 million more people voted for him.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. All right.
I don't believe there's any truth to our elections. Like, it's all corrupt.
It's all
fake.
Bullshit, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's all whoever the queen wants to be
Can I ask
president.
a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Totally.
Oh, after this is done, I'll actually be going live myself. If anyone wanted to join me, basically I'll just be doing like another one of those rituals, but not as long, that I did last night. And I kind of wanted to show people kind of like how it's possible to like augment your reality. And what I mean by that is, like, if you were to focus on something, you can make that become an overriding narrative in your reality. That's why it's easier to use videos to communicate, simply because I'm communicating in more than just vocal or text.
Myself,
I
I
just
don't
want to
get
see if anyone
involved.
would be interested in joining.
Myself, I don't get involved in rituals unless I understand exactly what they're about, like group rituals. They're not going to let my energy be used for something I don't understand what it is yet, right? I have to agree to the ritual.
Right.
And what the
If
purpose is
anything,
before I
it would
would
just
join
be
it.
it would be me showing like if you can see in private chat, it would kind of be like something like that. Like if you see that link, Todd, if you get a chance, click on it when you're free or whatever. But that's kind of just what I do. Is just like I just want to I don't know.
I'm up for it, mate. If you send me
There
a
you
link,
go.
I don't know. I'll just
Yeah.
if you send me a link, pal, I'll
What's up? What's up,
I'm
General?
up for it. If you send me a link, I'll join. Not a problem. Thank you.
What are
Cool.
you trying?
Thank you.
What are you trying to do? Are you just doing a ritual?
To bend reality.
To bend reality. Well, this show does that regularly.
I'd like to think that there's something like that going on here. I mean, we certainly bring on a lot of what I think are magically talented people. There's got to be some ripples.
Oh, hell yeah.
End of Days has been and is still one of the elite level podcasts, in my opinion.
It is a classic.
It
and
is.
That's Daniel. Man, that's Daniel.
Yes, mate.
Whew.
I don't know. I was just looking to have fun, but General Lee, I can promise you this: you'll be watching some of the best content that has ever been posted on YouTube, written and shown in a certain way that it tells an overriding story / narrative. And depending on how, this isn't meant to be debasing or insulting, but depending on how intelligent you are, you and I will be able to communicate and understand each other at a level that most people don't understand in their whole lifetime.
Yeah, man,
because I'm able to communicate in more than just the physical.
Sounds good.
Very nice.
Well,
let me go get that set up, and we'll have that skill in the background. No, I'm not going to do it right now. I'll get the bullshit set up.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about last week.
You get the circle set up, yeah. You get the incense burning. You get the incense put on. Get the circle drawn.
It's best to go out in the woods, like the deep woods where you're far away from civilization. Then whatever you put out there, it will like go directly into your subconscious without any distractions. That's why all those like Satanist people, there's always these reports of them like mucking around in the deep woods and doing sacrifices.
Totally. The stars are closer too, the further away you get from society. The stars in the sky.
Yeah.
So whatever's up there watching from the sky is closer to you. There's a closer connection that way too.
Yeah, I think that's probably Todd, because there's like zero light pollution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Utah has some of the most incredible isolated deserts where the stars, you can see, it looks like you're looking into a petri dish of light.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's fucking incredible. You get out there in the remote regions.
Yeah, have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah.
There's a ranch next door to it called Space Wolf Research. Have you heard of that?
I haven't. What is it?
Space Wolf Research. It's Ryan Patrick Burns. He owns it. I did a show with him a couple of months ago. I've got him back on next week. But some of the stuff he was telling me, he's got a god helmet and all that. Fucking hell, man.
I read the book by George Knapp.
So intriguing.
There's a story of the baby calf, and out of nowhere, this like giant werewolf runs up to it and starts like trying to rip its head off through the fence.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite Skinwalker Ranch story.
Oh, that is crazy.
Is that the same one where he tries to shoot you with a couple of different guns?
Yeah, the guy
they did nothing.
Yeah.
Big black
bulletproof.
Yeah. He said it was a big black wolf about the size of a cow. It was so big.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, there's all kinds of stories like that. Like during wartime, like you might want to check out some of those YouTube videos about wartime monster sightings. Like the troops will be fighting in the woods, and suddenly this monster will come along and just start eating both sides, tearing them to pieces. Like, what the fuck? This is not enough.
Totally. And you've heard of rock apes in Vietnam. They claim that they would have these apes that would throw rocks at them from the forest and make sounds through talking to each other in some weird sound, and then they'd throw rocks at them all night. And they'd try to shoot them and chase them, and they could never fucking get to them, you know.
These damn things are invincible. I love it. Planet of the Apes.
So lots of wartime monsters.
Doctor
Man,
says,
if you're going to run into monsters, that's when you run into it during the war, right? Because your troops are traipsing around in remote regions nobody's been to.
Yep, bingo.
Utah's got fucking. If there's Bigfoots anywhere, they're in Utah, because we've got mountain ranges that are so fucking deep and isolated and strange that light don't even go into these places. It's fucking prehistoric.
The Mormon Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Mormon Bigfoot.
British Columbia, Canada, Kamloops.
Yeah, up
Washington
there too.
State. Washington State.
If you want to find Bigfoot, you go to British Columbia, Canada. They'll find you before you find them.
Totally.
Oh,
and I'm leaning. Yeah.
So you mentioned Vietnam. Now I don't know the full details on it, but allegedly, night vision goggles they used them in Vietnam.
Wow.
And apparently the helicopter pilots, when they could see like demons coming at them, and they were shooting each other.
Whoa.
Have you heard of anything like that?
I've heard of stuff like that. Yeah. I've heard of stuff like that. Some of the most intense stuff I heard about Vietnam was Michael Aquino developed his psychological operations programs for the government. And he was one of the first ones that come up with the idea, instead of killing these people ruthlessly like we like to do, let's scare the fuck out of them and try to convince them that their dead ancestors are speaking to them. So they came up with psychological programs where they would hook up stereo speakers in the jungle, big giant speakers. The army it would broadcast ghostly Vietnamese.
It's so bizarre, isn't it?
Now, give up for your family's honor. Oh, and they'd hear it, and they wouldn't know where the fuck it's coming from. So, Michael Aquino, the Satanist, he's the head of the Church of Set. He's dead, I think.
Temple of Set.
Yeah, he passed away, isn't it?
Yeah, he passed away, but he developed that Mind Wars psychological operations for the government back in Vietnam. And then they were going to try to use psychological operations to get them to bow down.
One of the craziest things about that whole Temple of Set thing is how the guy that started the Church of Satan, Antoine LaVey, his daughter totally like backstabbed him and joined up with the Temple of Set, Michael Aquino, and all that. Much to his chagrin.
Man, that shit is weird.
It is.
Daniel had Michael Aquino on once and then swore he'd never have him on again.
Long time ago.
I
just read his book and I was like, man, this is messed up. Like, he's saying it's okay to like spy on the population of the country and all that. I just couldn't agree with that. I mean,
he thought propaganda was awesome because you're not killing people. You're just lying
exactly.
To do what you want to do.
Exactly. Great guess, but I just personally kind of disagreed with his whole philosophy about manipulating the population. I mean, I just like, just combine that with the ritual sort of like satanic crap he was into. Like he had to have been in communication with the devil. I mean, just based on what I heard about him.
If anybody had a hotline to the devil, it would be him. Yeah, fuck.
Because Set actually is the devil.
But hey, Daniel.
Daniel, go ahead, Logan.
Correct on that notion. What about big angry Native Americans with a sharp stick?
I don't know. I mean, it's like
trying to make a joke. I was just trying to make a joke.
No, I feel you on that because
totally.
like we go into
Spooky.
these other places and we say, "Oh, your gods are demons" and stuff like that. I don't think I agree with that either.
Your gods are demons. Your gods are demons, so we got to kill you if you don't believe in our gods.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like something a demon would do.
Totally.
Like worship me.
Here's something that popped in my head. Here's something that popped in my head. What if you could create your own demons?
Yeah, like a golem, or something like a golem.
Because whatever you give attention to, or homunculus. Like, what if you were to create something that's connected to you, but it's its own separate entity, just by you focusing on it?
Yeah.
Imagination.
Oh, I believe it. There's stories about people that do it.
Well, if you look into the story of humanity's creation, we were basically, I mean, if you look at like the Sumerian religion, we were created from the blood and the dead body of a dead god. And also, I've heard of people like, somebody told me like every time you jerk off, you create demons. Because like the life force and the seed you're like unleashing, like you'll be surrounded by
every loose drop of semen is a demon running around now. Yeah.
Basically, yeah, because you're just spilling all this like life force out there, and these spirits are surrounding you, and they're growing older.
Aborted before they take off. Well. There is the fact that if you have sex and you don't procreate, then you did kind of dead end right there, right? It's a dead end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they might be alive in some form and surrounding you. Like you could have a little army of your little fucking cum droplets.
That is so like Lilliputians, like Gulliver's Travels, fucking.
Oh, your house is haunted? I know why.
There you go. No doubt.
Or alternatively, like you could take like a bunch of dead body parts and stuff like that, and like somehow infuse that, and then you give it instructions, and that pretty much becomes like some kind of
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Reanimator. H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator.
Oh, Todd, one of my favorite films, aren't they?
Oh yeah, those are so good. Fuck yeah. Cheap budget, but incredible. Wow. What if you could shoot something into somebody and bring him back to life? That's itself is just, fuck, that is crazy. One of the reasons Lovecraft is so renowned is he come up with ideas that nobody.
Have you seen the new? Well, it came out a couple of years ago. Color Out of Space with Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, they did a fantastic job on that. They did a fantastic job on that.
Yeah,
that is one of my all-time favorite Lovecraft stories because it is so fucking weird.
Yeah,
it is so weird. Everything around this meteor, it's turning gray. It's spreading in the dirt, in the soil, so the plants start to fucking turn gray and get weird. And at nighttime, their plants are fucking dancing in the light, starting to become luminescent, gray, weird colors. Nobody'd come up with stories like that before Lovecraft. Fucking incredible. No. And they did a great job on that movie, too.
Yeah.
Interesting comment.
I was very surprised with it.
Interesting comment from the chat from Stygian Fox. In North and Germanic paganism, the world is created from the body of a primordial giant. For any regular Christian, this would sound absolutely demonic. Interesting.
Yeah, true. Because the war was between the Christians and the pagans. Eventually, the Christians tried to wipe out the pagans' culture. Right.
Yeah,
there.
That's like the whole plot of the new Viking series, Vikings Ragnarok.
Yeah, I saw the end of that. Or there was another one, The Last Kingdom. Did you see The Last Kingdom, that TV series?
No, I've been meaning to watch that. Everybody tells me
that one, Todd.
It's really well done.
Oh, let's check that one out.
They wrapped it up with a movie. They did a season, like 12 episodes, and then they just released a movie called The Last Kingdom. 7 kings must die. And it's telling you about England's history where it was fighting against the Danes, right? The Saxons, or they're the Saxons fighting against the Danes. There isn't even an England yet. That movie's kind of building up to when England first was called England, where everything was just fucking ruthless. Are you over there in England, General Lee?
Yeah, mate, yeah, Northwest Ireland, near
Northwest
near
Ireland?
No, Northwest
Ireland.
England.
Oh, England.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that must be crazy living over there in that old place.
Yeah, the old world.
Yeah, there's some spooky areas like, but I love it over here, mate.
I bet there's spooky shit going on over there, man.
Oh heck yeah.
Old
like a
castle.
zoo, mate, outside.
Oh, hey, I got something cool to show you guys.
Yeah, what do you got?
Would you guys like to see the image of a primordial being?
Oh yes,
Sure. Huh.
Oh, that's trippy looking.
Make that big.
Yeah.
Let's see, let me get it straightened out.
Ooh, I like that. Did you do that?
No, I had it commissioned.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, that's bad.
Excellent.
Who's the artist?
Who's the artist? He goes by the name Zod.
Zod.
I think I may have heard of that guy.
Like Superman from planet Krypton. That's Zod. Or Zod. Or no.
Kneel before Zod.
Zod. Man, Zod was such an a-hole.
Pagan or animistic. Catholicism is basically pagan Christianity. They changed very little. Yeah, true. There's the mysteries and in my view, the mainstream religions are the face that they had to put on the mysteries so that the public could have something so that they could deal with the public. That's what mainstream religions are. They're the mask that the mystery schools put on to talk to the stupid people that don't want to go read books.
The exoteric version.
And keep them in line.
Yeah, definitely some truth to that in the very least. I've also heard that Christ, like some people think that he was Baal because Baal comes back from the dead. He wills himself back to life after being eaten by Mot, who is basically like the Hades of the Canaanite culture.
Is that Baal worship? Baal worshipers?
Yeah. In fact, many believe that the elite are Baal worshipers to this day. Mm-hmm. Like there's two sides. There's half are like Luciferians and half are Baal worshipers. But then other people would probably say that Baal and Lucifer are the same. They're all the devil. It gets very convoluted.
Because you had a demonologist coming on, I thought, well, I better go brush up on my demonology, right? So the first thing you do when you want to go brush up on something is go ask YouTube or Google or whatever, whoever the fuck it is. Go type in what is demonology, and here's what YouTube says demonology is. This is from the University of Sydney Library, right? First result that comes up when you ask what is demonology. Demonology is the science or doctrine concerned with the study of demons. It can comprise such features as of a classification of their hierarchy or of their powers, limitations, and attributes, multiple names and derivations. It has also come to mean a branch of magic that deals with malevolent spirits. So that's the first thing that comes up when you go type in what is demonology, right?
I believe it started around the time that the Catholic Church was coming into its own. Like there were like the whole idea of Lucifer that came around that time where they were writing like this extra biblical sort of mythology, like stories that were in line with biblical thinking, but not necessarily from the Bible. if that kind of makes sense. And then you had certain guys that were going around collecting these grimoires. I think you kind of talked about this before on here, Todd.
Yeah,
You know,
when
the early-
grimoires they started to become popular, it was all the rage once Italy. Of course, I'm ham-fisted telling this story, but when Italy is the seat of civilization as far as technologies going during the 1500s, during the Renaissance, so all the people that had any money, the popular thing was to buy manuscripts that they were unearthing everywhere, right? And translate them and then put them into book form. That was all the fucking rage. That's how grimoires started becoming discovered. That's where Hermes Trismegistus, the famous book.
Well, check this out. I was reading this thing the other day that somebody put up in on Reddit, and he was saying that Hermes and Aphrodite become one and become a hermaphrodite. I did not know that was where the word hermaphrodite came from. They're saying, yeah, that's like Baphomet, and that's why they're doing all this trans stuff, because it's basically like bringing Hermes and Aphrodite together. I mean, it makes fuck all sense to me, but it sounds like it has some truth to it.
Yeah, really makes no sense. You know who was talking a lot about this before she died? Tracy Twyman.
Oh, it's Tracy, yeah.
Going into Cybele about the secret societies, how they were involved in this weird androgynistic god or whatever, that they're behind the scenes. A lady with a beard, a bearded lady. Whoa, right?
Yeah.
Cybele, this ancient goddess, was a bearded lady. And she was getting into how the Knights Templar were worshiping this had some weird kind of androgynous thing going.
Yeah, and no disrespect meant by saying this, but some people believe that Jesus himself was an androgynous character, you know, with the robes and the long hair, and he may have been. This is what's the dude's name? I've had him on here before. Pardon me, I can't remember his name, but he wrote many books about this and about how Christ was part of the cult of Mithras, and they would chop their balls off and do it for like a spirit. Todd's like, what the fuck?
Well, no, there's also the eunuchs. The Catholic Church had eunuchs, didn't they? Too.
Did they? Did the Catholic Church have?
Did the Catholics have eunuchs, or was that just?
Yeah, they did.
They'd cut their freaking balls off so they could sing higher. Oh, in the chorus.
How's it go again, Todd?
More angelic. Gave them more angelic voices. Oh.
Todd, you've got the voice of 1,000 angels.
Like Michael, totally. Michael Jackson, yeah. Oh, did those highs. Michael Jackson.
Didn't they chemically castrate him to keep him high pitched? Something along those lines.
Something happened to him. I don't know if they chemically castrated him. Daniel would know more about Michael Jackson than me.
I don't believe that.
You're more studied on the Jackson story.
The gentleman I was referring to earlier is Ralph Ellis, like probably one of the best guests.
Oh yeah,
you can get on the show. Yeah,
Ralph Ellis was just on. He was just on Freeman Fly's show the other day, last weekend. Freeman Fly.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, your show's classic, Daniel. Your show is just classic. Goes way back. You interviewed Ralph Ellis years ago. That had a whole different take on
one of my favorite shows for sure. Another one is Michael Tessarian. I've invited him on a lot of times. He's never come on, but I still really enjoy his work.
What's he do again? What's he do?
He comes from like a Rosicrucian background, and he kind of shares some of this stuff that he kind of knows through that method and research. Most of his research he's done on his own, and he's very he's very well researched. He'll talk about Atlantis and reptilians and things like that. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he says, but definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, some of this stuff you some of these people that are going around the circuit doing interviews, you have to wonder about them, You had Stanton Friedman on. Remember Stanton Friedman, Daniel?
Yeah, not too long before he
had him on
passed
right before
away.
he died. Probably your show probably killed him, yeah. No,
Hey.
just teasing. He did your show and that was it.
The cursed show.
He did your show and that did him in. But some of these
half
guests,
the guests from the past are passed away now. Like
I
some of
know.
my favorite guests. Yeah,
come on your
everybody's
show
dying
and
on me.
die. Jesus, Tracy Twyman and all these.
Yeah, I mean, you could go down the list. Half of them are
Had some-
passed.
No doubt, Linda Godfrey.
Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Rosemary Ellen
Linda
Guiley.
Godfrey. List goes on and on.
Art Bell. He would have.
Art Bell.
you.
Art Bell, yeah, Art Bell.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, I love Art Bell.
Classic stuff.
Big inspiration.
A lot of this.
Show. Exactly.
No
It definitely wasn't Nori.
No, it sucked. They couldn't have somebody better than Art Bell take the show over, so it was ever destined to have somebody substandard hosting it from till it's over. You know,
Yeah.
they couldn't bring a better guy in. You don't do that.
I was looking at the list of guests, on the Coast to Coast website, and it was all like star healers and stuff like that. Like they haven't really had any decent guests on in a while. I was kind of
whack, 80s new age, goofy, boring. Come on, everybody, stuff. Children of light. Oh, we're all children. The star children are coming to save us.
I just want it to be interesting. Like, it doesn't, I don't care what it is. If it's like light or darkness or whatever, it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily like prescribing to that.
No, that's why I like your show. That's why I like your show, Daniel, because it's stream of conscious and you let everybody come on, anybody come on. Like you're the dude, you're the man, Daniel.
Very unique, Dan. Very unique.
Thank you.
Very
and
unique.
I've had pressures on me to like, take more of like a Christian
sell out.
Stance towards things.
Christian, yeah.
Run
ads for Jesus, yeah.
And then you like stray from that, and then you start to get all this like hate, and people are like, "Oh, you're pushing.
God, you're not a Christian.
Evil.
Dude, you're a devil worshiper.
You're deceiving people.
If you're not a Christian, you're a devil worshiper, right?"
And you can never be Christian enough. Like you can put stuff out there, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't correct."
And you can't be the right kind of. You can never be the right kind of Christian either, because there's every
Go back
kind
to the drawing board.
You can never be the right kind of Christian because there's every kind of Christian too. You got the Mormon Christians, the Catholic Christians, the born again Christians, the Protestant Christians, the Lutheran Christians, the Orthodox Christians. You can never be the right Christian either. So look at the paradox they've created.
The Area 51 flyover guy was epic. Oh, I remember that. The guy that was like, "Yeah, I'm flying over Area 51."
Oh, really?
Oh, I love that one. I love that.
A dome is opening. They're aiming some kind of cannon at me.
The Art Bell. You're talking about Art Bell. Yeah. One of Art Bell's funniest ones, too, was the guy that escaped from Area 51. He's like, "Fuck, I just escaped from Area 51. They're following me. They're triangulating me.
They're triangulating my signal."
One of the funniest freaking... Where are you, sir? Where give us your location. I can't tell you where I'm at. I'm at a payphone. Fuck, I got out of there.
They know where I'm at, but I'm not going to tell you guys.
Totally.
That was at the end of the Tool album. War
of the Worlds.
Was that? It was not Lateralis, but the one that came out like before that, the really big one.
Yeah, the huge one that had to learn to swim.
Is that called like Animus or something like that?
I think it was Animus. Yep, Anima.
Yeah, Anima. You got it. It came out in 1996.
Yeah, he's playing what's his nuts? A comedian at the end of it. Can't remember his name.
Oh,
Alex Jones always says, "Look, people say I look like this guy. I'm that guy. Are you that guy?" That comedian that died.
My memory sucks these days.
Oh hell! What's his name?
We forgot more.
Damn it! Oh, Alex
Hicks?
Jones.
Bill Hicks.
Bill
Hicks.
Yeah,
Bill
it's at the end of the Tool record, right? Plays a little skit from Bill Hicks at the end of that Tool album. Do you follow any of this goofy stuff, General Lee?
What is that, mate? Sorry.
American fucking conspiracy radio talk show guys and all the goofy Tool records and symbology behind the Tool albums and Elvis Presley's a fucking shaman, and you follow any of that?
I've not. No, I've not. But you know,
over here in America, us conspiracy theorists, we don't believe the Beatles were real or whatever.
I'm not into Beatles, mate. To be honest with you.
But I'm just saying, in America, we think that Beatles thing was the conspiracy theorists. It was an invasion of our consciousness with the British.
The story goes that the guy that won the contest for like a Paul McCartney lookalike, Paul McCartney was killed, and they replaced him with that guy because he was easier to control.
Yes. I've heard of that. He did die in a car crash or something like that.
Yep.
And they were all into Crowley as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have actually seen Paul McCartney twice. Glastonbury.
Have you?
And fucking hell, somewhere. I think it was at Manchester, somewhere like that. Yeah, it was actually quite good, but
all that
I was fucking blitzed. So
there you go.
Anything is good when you're shit faced.
Well, yeah, that's the only way to go see a concert. I mean, come on, man. Get ripped.
Yeah, and Glastonbury Festival's incredible.
That sounds good. But what did he do? Did he do his famous song "Black and White"? Did he do his famous song?
You know, mate.
Did he do "Help" by the Beatles? Did he do "Help"? Help.
I'm not sure if he did "Help." He did a couple of Beatles ones though.
I need anybody help. You know, I need someone help. If there's one good Beatles song, that's the fucker. That's my favorite.
I like Rocky Raccoon. Rocky Raccoon. He's such a loon.
Only to find Gideon's Bible.
Gideon's Bible.
Gideon's Bible in there.
Yeah. Dingy's was good as well, though. He's probably one of the best I've seen. David Bowie.
David Bowie. Yes.
Incredible, man. Incredible.
There's a rabbit hole.
Fucking true magician there, David Bowie. That's a magician. Speaking of your androgynous thing too, Daniel, David Bowie's androgynous come out as his space child, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember Ziggy Stardust, his alternate personality?
Or Labyrinth?
Notice how the stars all have an alternate personality.
We could do entire shows on just Labyrinth and just his last album and just this or that. I mean, that dude just has a plethora of things going on.
Yeah. I tell you what, but not like I remember that coming out when I was a kid, and it was
you remember
that Labyrinth, wasn't it?
You remember which one coming out?
The first Labyrinth with David Bowie.
Oh, yeah.
That has Jennifer Connelly in it.
Oh, I don't know, mate.
It looks so real.
I think it is real, mate. It's a true story.
They did a great job with the special effects. It looks so real. I think it is real too. I think that's really what's going on behind the scenes, and they have to come out in Hollywood and make a movie about it, you know, just to for your mind to be able to accept what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a strange world, mate, isn't it? It's a very strange world, but it's a fascinating time to be alive, Todd. As fucked up as things are, it is. It's incredible.
Oh hell yeah! This is the weirdest, strangest period, and we're all blessed. We're all blessed to be on Daniel's show talking about it right now.
Or
speaking
another
to
one,
people like gentlemen like yourself. So.
Another one's Donovan. Like Donovan had this whole occult wedding.
Yeah. He had a bunch of Sunshine Superman. I mean, they were promoting the pills too. They were promoting LSD.
And he has that song Atlantis. And Atlantis is all, secret societies. They're the ones that are sharing the Atlantean knowledge. Yeah. Jimmy Page is another one. We've got into him.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
General Lee, how close are you to Jimmy Page's house where Aleister Crowley lived?
Boleskine House. It's in Scotland. House. That's in Scotland, that mate.
So that's another island, yeah.
It's in part of Great Britain, like, but nowhere near me.
Loch Ness. Yeah, like Daniel said.
I'm near Manchester and Liverpool, a town called Warrington.
Do you go hunt some of these weird paranormal things down? Do you go over? You've been over there to Loch Ness?
No, I'd love to go there, mate. I think it's been flattened now though, because there's been a couple of fires and it's been burnt down. So I'm led to believe anyway. But those paranormal tours, they do them at Walton Hall, which is about 20 minutes from where I am.
They probably got magical groups and witches and shit going to that.
Oh, there's all that, yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
they get into that house and do some ritual.
I would love to go one of them paranormal. You can go like, and you'll stay for the night in this like haunted, big fucking mansion type place.
That sounds cool.
I got to get over there. That sounds like a blast.
Hey mate, when I've got my own place and I'm sorted, you're more than welcome to come over down.
Yeah, and you need to video camera, do a show out of it, release it as a special episode.
Hell yeah!
For the best parts,
We'd have the Travel Channel picking us up in a second.
Travel Channel.
Hey, Daniel, I got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
How long are we going to be online for? And generally, how long? I was actually thinking about doing that ritual right now. No offense to you guys. I just, for some reason, it's kind of just nagging at me. And I didn't know if it'd be okay if I could still generally away for like a few minutes.
Probably like 50 minutes or so.
I don't know.
Why do you want to steal them away though? What are you going to do?
We rarely get generally on here. You want to steal him away? God, we never get to talk to General Lee. Now all of a sudden it's like, I got to take this guy. You guys mind if I take him over here?
You're not going to do some kind of psychic vampire
I want to
shit.
show him some cool. I want to show him some cool stuff. I want to show him some cool videos that alter reality.
We want to show him
your dick
over here, yeah. Fucking
no, Daniel.
Hey, everybody got your Bud Light tonight? Did you get your Bud Light? Come on, guys.
Go
drink this escalated quickly.
Talk about that Dylan.
Yeah, if I can just borrow General Lee for like a few minutes, I'll show him something cool.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess we have to, but General Lee has to agree to it, of course.
Mate, I'm up for anything.
Do it here.
Can't
do
be
it here, Logan.
Yeah, do it right here. Fucking just flash and just show yourself. Daniel can censor
it right here.
Daniel can censor
it right here.
Yeah. Let's go for
I
it,
give
mate.
you permission. Use this show to send out the vibrations, the magic. Let's
if you
do
put
it.
your penis out, though, Daniel's gonna have to black out.
Magic?
Yeah, YouTube does not allow that type of stuff.
All right. Here is the extent of my video editing abilities and all that other fun stuff. And this is how I interlink with existence. One sequence begets another. And throughout that, all can be understood.
It's intense.
Oh.
Yeah, it's intense because I utilize all energy, sir.
Nice, mate.
Right on.
I'll tell you what, mate. This is impressive work. This, I love it.
There you go.
207 subscribers, not bad. You got a little following going, Logan.
Do you know how long it's taken Daniel to get 4,000 subscribers on YouTube? Fuck. God. Well, shadow banned and blocked and
yeah. It'll go up to like 4,054, then it'll go back down to like 4,030, and it seems to be stuck.
Half of them are robots. Half of them are robots.
And here's the thing, we're heading to a future where this is going to be reality. And that, and I just love this scene so fucking much.
There you go.
Is this Terminator?
Fuck yeah.
It's like Terminator, isn't it, mate?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. It's where the machines have gotten to the ground. Machines found their way inside the future.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta pull that down because they're gonna like do copyright shit to me on YouTube. Sorry about that.
I don't think they'll copyright it because this video is not copywritten.
If it's scenes from Terminator It probably would. Although when you make the box like smaller and stuff like that, I think it helps you slip that stuff
When you
by.
make it smaller and when you edit it, it becomes your work. So therefore, technically, it would be my work. But I do have another video that I did make that won't be copywritten. It's about 13 minutes long, called "The Ritual Dance of Silence," and it basically is encrypted information. Yeah, that one will not get copywritten, and that one will actually showcase everything that I've learned and accumulated after 31 years of knowledge. That one would be all right. That was what I was going to show General Lee. I was going to show him the Ritual Dance of Silence.
Well, that's cool, but why are you mixing your show in the middle of Daniel's live show and testing it out on everybody? I guess because there is no guest.
Whoa! I thought he said it was okay. I thought he said it was okay. I didn't know what was.
No, it's all good. Everything's okay.
No, it's fine. I just took it down because of the copyright thing. I don't want them to, they look for every excuse to bury
deny everything.
Oh, they'll look for any reason to come and get you. Right.
Exactly. Like, you guys know Michael Deacon, my old co-host. He just had his entire YouTube channel wiped.
Wiped clean.
Was it?
He's no longer on YouTube. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I heard his show. I heard him talking about it. Because he said something they thought was racist, or he said COVID, or
he was talking about the Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwocky.
Notes in it, mate.
Kabobo.
No such thing as free speech, is there?
No, not nowadays.
In the United States,
I've been noticing a lot of Alice in Wonderland and those old type of fantasy works popping up more and more in real life now. It's kind of weird.
That's because they use that archetype over and over. They bought that archetype. They own that sucker, and it represents going down the rabbit hole. If these guys can take you down the rabbit hole, that's the first thing they do, right? Finding the conspiracy doesn't mean you rebelled. The people that run the world set up all the holes so you can go find the conspiracy. They're the ones that make it so you can find them. I hope you realize
they do that for a reason. They want you to find it so that they know if you're not like an NPC or an organic robot. And at some point, what they do is they invite you to join Freemasonry or another one of those secret societies. That's their way of luring people into that hidden underworld and testing them to see if they have like that ability to discern things better than your average human.
And then once they get you into their underworld, then they start figuring out, are you a good guy or a bad guy? And they'll use that against you too.
Yeah, good shout that.
They want to know, are you good or bad? And so they'll sit and test you to see how much shit you'll do until they figure out, okay, which category you're in. So they can use you.
And if they don't have any joy with that, Todd, they'll manipulate you.
They'll manipulate you.
Yes.
That's why we're all at grave risk. Everybody on this show right now is placed
constantly dodging the deep state
to bring this to you. Yeah.
I've had invites to join the Masons. Like one of my guests invited me, but I just said nah.
Should have did it, Daniel. Go in.
No, I don't want to do that thing where you got to like jerk off in a coffin or whatever.
You don't want to put a blindfold on and have a bunch of guys' dicks. You don't want to put on a blindfold while a bunch of guys standing around you with their dicks hanging out.
Is there a secret society out there that I could join that doesn't have all the homo shit?
I don't know. I don't know if they do that. But
are there any secret societies for straight people?
It's escalated quickly.
Start pissing on you. Oh no.
Well, it's all like it's all about sodomy, because sodomy
bend over touch your toes.
it activates, like it opens a portal so that this like hive mind can connect with
evil.
You.
It opens a portal for evil to flow through.
Pretty much, because it's connected to your lower chakra.
Yeah, the back door portal.
That's why they're doing all that shit on Bohemian Grove, or at Bohemian Grove.
That's why they wear them frocks, mate, in it, so they can just pull them up.
That is so true.
Monkey Dennis Lee is bringing up Isaac Cappy.
Isaac Cappy. Yeah, we went through that whole thing with Tracy Twyman.
Yes.
And interesting that his name's Isaac. There's got to be some connection there to the binding of Isaac. The child sacrifice from the Bible. Can't help but notice that.
Pretty odd.
And the guy was actually in some major movies. He was in the first Thor movie. and a bunch of other ones too.
Cappy was. Isaac Cappy was in the Thor movie.
Yeah, he was in the first Thor movie.
No way.
Yeah, look it up.
Hey, we don't talk much about Isaac Cappy or Tracy Twyman nowadays much because
we don't want to die.
We don't want to talk about it. Talking about that shit is when you start coming against some really spooky stuff.
Yeah, he was in a Terminator movie too. Thanks again from Monkey Lee.
Monkey Lee.
That's an odd name.
It's a top name. I love it.
Monkey Lee. They found the monkey god. There was a monkey god down in fucking Central America. Now they found temples. The god was a monkey.
Do you remember Monkey Dan? Monkey in Tripitaka?
What's that, baby?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch that?
But my wife says they worshipped anything back then. So monkeys,
Todd,
everything
Todd,
was. Yeah.
Todd, did you remember Monkey Magick, the program? And he had like a staff. And
it's like a kids show.
Flew on a cloud. A bit, yeah,
oh.
yeah.
They
did a remake of it a couple of years ago. It's spot on, mate. It's like an Asian Chinese type because it's one of the mythology in it. The monkey king.
Oh yeah, that's the Monkey King. I know what you're talking about. Dragon Ball, the anime is kind of based on that loosely.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, because the Monkey King is actually like a martial artist, and he has all these special powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think he fights the Dragon King or the Dragon God, or I don't know the whole story, but it's all linked together.
You know what I watched the other night that blew my mind? I'd seen it before, but watching it again years later, it turned out to be pretty good. Was the Gods of Egypt?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, my wife's like, that was terrible. I'm like, I know.
I love that movie. But notice, did you see that scene where they show the Earth? And it's a flat disc spinning around his face,
like a coin, big giant white coin.
But why would they put that in there?
What was cool was they showed the gods were bigger than the humans. They were like 12 foot tall. Man, that's how the Egyptians saw it. That's what their books claim. The gods were
Anunnaki
they were
thing.
bigger. They drew them on the pictures bigger.
I think they were normal people. Were only like 5 footers back then, weren't they?
But on their petroglyphs, they're fucking, all their bas reliefs they carved, the gods were always taller compared to the people.
Yeah, yeah.
The pharaoh was
asses, and then
tall, the god was. And so the movie had these 12-foot tall fucking human beings. I thought that was cool. And then the other cool thing that they showed was they kind of brought the mythology of Set and Horus and Osiris, right? That was kind of introducing the public to Egyptian mythology, where Osiris's brother is Set. Isn't that how it worked?
Yeah.
But in the movie, if you remember, what's his nuts? That ugly. My wife says he's ugly. That actor,
the Kingslayer,
that plays Set.
Oh no, that's the dude from 300. Brother. Isn't it?
It's the dude from 300.
Oh, Jared Butler, is it?
Gerard Butler.
Jared Butler, yeah.
Oh,
Gerard
Butler, Gladiator.
Yeah. He's the fucking evil brother. And if you remember, they go out of our world religion, and in the sky is their father on a ship floating in the universe.
Yeah.
That's fighting this giant creature like from Lovecraft.
That's supposed to be Ra fighting chaos, keeping the chaos back.
That's keeping the chaos back.
Has he got some weapon after as well? He's got some weapon
in shoots this thing in outer space.
I could do one of them actually.
That's some cool trippy shit.
Yeah, I've been to have one of them.
Very underrated movie. Whoever made that movie knew some shit. Like, they've got to be connected to some secret societies and ancient knowledge and stuff like that. I feel like they're trying to tell us something.
Yeah, that's a state-sanctioned movie right there. The government-approved movie.
Yeah, I said to...
it's terrible. We're like, yeah!
I said to Gary Wayne the other night, It'd be mint if he
Wayne?
could, Gary Wayne. Yeah, it'd be mint if
Yeah.
he could write a story for a film.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
That's
his
what
film
we
would
need,
be
mate.
fortune.
Yeah.
Giants.
Giants. Yeah.
I want to talk to my filmmaker friend Max Cole and get him to like make some kind of crazy ass movie like that.
Oh, Max Cole could take this thing here and make this fucking incredible thing out of it.
He's
But you
coming
gotta
on.
have a start and a middle and a finish
Yeah.
of sorts.
We'd all get killed.
Mm-hmm. We all die in the end. Everyone dies at the end of this movie. Yeah.
And in real life, for being involved with it.
We're all dying. We're born dying though, so
It was worth it, guys. That's like that movie Gray Slate. You know, the one where it's like about end times and there's like these Mesa guys chopping people's heads off and stuff, and then they obviously like killed the guy that made that movie. He made it look like he killed his whole family and all that. That's some scary shit.
That is scary. Wrap it all up in a neat bow.
I'm gonna get that guy's name real quick.
Well, I got something even scarier. I just tied my consciousness to my previous version in the past, just now. That's weird. That's something that I have never really done.
You just
recently.
tied your consciousness to a previous version of yourself in the past. Did you say you just tied your consciousness to a previous self of yours in the past? Is that what you said?
Yes, I am. I was like watching a Star Trek video I made about the Borg, and then around the same time I started experiencing the same feelings exactly as I did in the past, and my consciousness is overlapping that for some reason. Like I'm not even really here right now. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought I'd let you guys
sounds like the
that,
stuff
that's what happened to me just now.
That sounds like the stuff my friend Nina talks about, like going, like infusing like old videos and stuff with, like, I forget what she calls it, quantum something, quantum tunneling.
Yeah, I believe that. So there you go, quantum tunneling.
Yeah,
quantum tunneling. Your one guest, I missed that show, Daniel, but she was smart as hell. Really smart.
Skate and Destroy. It is David Crowley. In the movie, it's not Gray Slate, it's Gray State. Sorry about that.
Gray State?
Huh.
Yeah, it's funny his name's Crowley too. Like that kind of raises.
Hey, did you guys get some Bud Light? Who's got the Bud Light, guys?
No, I'm not touching that stuff.
Stop and get the Bud Light.
It probably has female hormones.
They're not going to make me get rid of my Budweiser though.
No.
I'm not going to come on here and bow down and say I can't drink Budweiser nowadays because they don't like Bud Light, because Ted Nugent doesn't like Bud Light. Right, Daniel?
Or Kid Rock.
Oh,
or
God.
Kid Rock.
Oh, God.
Bud
Can't
Light
have said Ted Nugent. Fuck Ted Nugent.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They're not going to make me stop buying Budweiser just by shooting up their Bud Light cans out there.
I like
probably on like a ladybug.
I like MGD anyways. It's cheaper. It's
But
like
hey,
drinking piss.
General Lee.
Yeah.
I know, right? Oh yeah. If I like after we're done here, definitely when I can show you some cool things. Basically, what I just wanted to say real quick was, what you focus on becomes your reality. And if you become aware of something, you have a degree of control over it. And also on that notion, if we do exist in a matrix of some sort, the universe itself is a matrix, that how we can exist in through time and space, length, width, and height, we have an ability to alter it. Basically, I was going to ask you what alteration should I make to reality and put my 31 years of knowledge to the test. I wanted to ask you that real quick.
Well, in my opinion, how about you make the poor people's burden a little less, and make the super rich elites that are fucking our planet up their burden a little heavier. How about you start with that one, just in my opinion?
Right.
But we could just start in our own backyard, what's good for us here locally, what kind of love and peace we could spread just right here in our own community. We don't have to attack the giant octopus that runs the world immediately, do we?
Well, Todd, you remember Sherry, right? She's been on this show a bunch of times.
I love Sherry. Oh heck
Well,
yeah.
she was doing like a spell type of thing to protect the children that are getting like mutilated and molested and stuff by the elite. And then like
Yeah.
right after she did that,
Whoa.
and she did it personally by herself, she started
Whoa.
getting massively gang stalked.
I'll bet. Because that's probably what brings them out. Fucking the Eye of Sauron immediately says, "You're not gonna block this, right?"
Yeah, like she was sound asleep.
The children must flow. Uh-huh.
She was sound asleep and she'd wake up in the middle of the night and turn her phone on and there'd be some like message saying, "Wake up."
Yeah, spooky. Gang stalked. That's real.
But you know what I'm coming to find is I'm starting to think that the gang stalkers are all AI.
They are. We've talked about this. Tracy Pryman, before she got killed or died or killed herself, was talking about how it was AI. It's some kind of like the demons had gotten into the computer. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like demons coming at her from the computer. They knew everything about her life, and they were using what they knew from the worst angles they could get at her. Spooky shit.
And then her
Very
husband's
weird,
doing all this stuff to like block anybody from talking about her. Like if you,
Yes.
That's why we don't talk about that stuff, man. Censorship has a way of making you not say talk about things. You're just like, well, I better not say that anymore, right?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, I hate it. Like, I want to just get on ham radio and just say fuck all this internet shit.
All right.
Buy one of those things off of the coast of England that they used to defend themselves in World War II and set up a pirate radio station.
The
coast of England in one of those old artillery fucking shelters built up off the
bunkers.
Ocean, a bunker, built up off the ocean.
Yeah. I'd admit them, mate.
Well, the internet.
Let's get Daniel enough money he can go buy one of those fuckers and do a pirate show from there.
The development of the internet and CERN are like going hand in hand. Whoever created the internet, it had to have been some kind of freaking demon or something like that, some kind of intelligence from the beyond. And the Nazis were communicating with aliens, or they thought they were aliens, and they're the ones that spearheaded a lot of this computer stuff with IBM. They pretty much invented the PC.
They were communicating with some high intelligences or from beyond or whatever.
Oh, 100%.
These guys from a place called Aldebaran or something like that.
Aldebaran?
Yeah, like these tall sort of Nordic aliens that they thought were like Aryans of some type. Of course they're going to trust them. Like, oh, these aliens are white?
They had like 9 women that were all psychics that were speaking to the god or whatever that Hitler was.
Yeah,
was
there was that main one with they believed that having long hair allowed them to communicate. Like I've got like I'm bald. I'm not communicating with shit.
So your communication has broken down.
Exactly. I don't want no demons talking to me.
But you are
save that shit off.
But Daniel, you are a commanding figure, so just what we need to run the show.
Exactly.
Excellent job, sir. Excellent job.
Falling out anyways.
What were you thinking, Logan? Were you going to do a ritual here? Were you going to bust out some candles, start some chanting? I'm with you if you are. I mean, let's do it.
From Skate and Destroy, that Crowley thing happened here in Minnesota. One of his partners was Danny Mason. Weird name stuff makes you wonder about it being some kind of psyop. Definitely.
Totally. Strange stuff regarding the crime and scene and the Apple Valley Police Department. Who's the Apple Valley Police Department? Skate,
you should hop on panel with us. Like some of you guys that are in the chat, you should hop on panel. You just need your smartphone. Everybody's got one.
Something?
I've never heard of that particular story. Sounds like something worth looking up.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the weirdest shit I heard about Crowley was coming from a guest, Michael Spencer. He had a book he published. It was called The Beast 666 or something. 666, The Curse of the Beast or something. And he used Freedom of Information requests to find out information about when Crowley came to the United States during World War I. And he found out that the FBI and the CIA were all over Crowley when he came to New York. And there was a file that he was able to get through the Freedom of Information Act where Crowley had came to New York and he was hanging out with some weird people. That's why I was telling you, Daniel, I wanted to know if Crowley and Lovecraft ever crossed paths, but I could never quite get to the, if they might have crossed paths somewhere. But this one researcher found that Crowley, England used Crowley as sort of a triple agent. They let Crowley travel to the United States and Germany while all these wars were going on. Crowley was a member of German lodges, secret magic lodges. So he's going to Germany.
Well,
he's going to France.
I can say that he may not have been buddies with Crowley, but him and Bram Stoker knew each other, and they hated each other's guts. They were like sworn enemies.
Crowley and Bram Stoker or Lovecraft?
Crowley and Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker.
Crowley had a lot of enemies. A lot of people
Crowley
did
had a
not
lot of
vibe
enemies.
with his stuff.
Crowley didn't like Arthur Edward Waite. He made fun of this guy. This was one of the foremost. Arthur Edward Waite was one of the foremost authors on black magic and magic. One of the highest founders or members of the Golden Dawn. As far as his stature went as a writer and a magician. And so Crowley had it in for a lot of people. But yeah, Bram Stoker, that doesn't surprise me.
Dang. Everything okay over there, Lee?
Is everyone
you got
all right?
noisy all of a sudden. I thought I heard a gunshot. What's going on?
Yeah, I'll go back.
I heard boom. I muted him for a second. I took it off mute, and then I heard boom.
Gotta get another beer here.
Man, I should have brought some beer with me. I should be drinking.
You should drink that beer Al likes, the apple beer.
If I had known that this was going to be like a roundtable show, I would have got wasted.
Oh, this is a great show. You got to put this up, Daniel. You can't throw this.
At this point, yeah, I am putting it up because now we have content. We had a lot of people show up. I mean, I'm not gonna.
And you know what your show is? You know what your show is every week, don't you, Daniel? It's like that guy from the movie The Gods of Egypt, the one god that was fighting off the demonic giant creature. That's what your show is every weekend. Using a specialized weapon that only God knows to fight this evil.
I hope we're not
slug
letting them in.
Giant universal slug. They could be seeping through though. Like Lovecraft's book said, they're seeping through the fucking cracks in the universe.
Have you seen that video where that guy's walking towards that?
Eat them. There you go.
And he shoots this guy like 4 times, and he's still coming at him.
What was it?
Oh. It's a video where this cop is shooting this guy. He looks like he's on drugs or something, and he gets shot like 4 times, and he's still walking towards him. That has to be possession right there.
Yeah. Or PCP. Zombie. The zombie guy, I think they shot. Remember the guy that was eating the face of the other person? He got up and was covered in blood and fucking shot him like 2 or 3 times. He lived, but fuck, he was insane. And they said he was on nothing. They found nothing in his system.
But I have read, like Logan was saying, eat them. I have read stuff about how some people develop an ability to like absorb demons, and when they do that, they gain the powers of the demon.
I've heard of this. I've heard of this also.
And some will, like, supposedly the Antichrist is supposed to have like an infinite amount of demons inside of him, and it's going to make him like super powerful.
Yeah. Well, on the subject of demonology, that I just read to you what fucking what the definition is on Google, right?
Yeah.
And the very first demons. I got to read this part real quick of this book to you. The very first demons on the list, because there's a hierarchy. That's what a demonologist is. he knows the hierarchy. He's studying the different demons and what they do. And I highlighted this motherfucker. Let's see. Let's see. Many of the modern handbooks of magic or grimoires draw on the clavicula to some degree. Grimorium Verum too depends heavily on the clavicula, but the methods have been greatly simplified. So that's the introduction to the Grimorium Verum. But right here it says, disclaimer. Part of the fascination of this text is no doubt due to the many grotesque and criminal elements, such as using a human skull and blood. This is particularly true in the appended amazing secrets in the book. But it says, these should in no way be regarded in any other way than horror fiction. Should anyone attempting them literally is more likely to end up in jail or a hospital for the criminally insane rather than experience their true magic. So the book warns you, if you're using these things, if you're trying to go get a human skeleton, a skull, so you can follow this exactly, you might end up in a mental institution or prison.
Yeah, there's grimoires up there that tell you like, oh, go find a young child to complete this spell, and
there's some spooky.
Yeah, nobody wants to be doing that. I mean, that's
personally myself. I've never called up a demon. Been tempted to, but have never done it. Why would I? The things that I want to accomplish don't require such extreme effort, right? Don't require such extreme.
Well, when I was like experimenting with that sort of stuff, I was pretty scared because I thought that like something horrific was going to pop up in front of my face, but they don't really do that. They sort of communicate with you through subtle means, like this light telepathy type of stuff and little visions. And I'm sure that if you're more hardcore about it, and if you're like sacrificing rabbits and stuff like that, you'll probably see a full-on manifestation. But you have to give it something to manifest in most cases, unless you provide it with a tremendous amount of energy. Like you have to burn like 6 incense sticks all together, so you have a bunch of smoke, and then the demon's face will like appear in that smoke. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I did want to say they open up with the first 3 demons. The first 3 demons in the list of the hierarchy, they're the most ones. And it's Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Azeroth.
Oh, that's Hell's Triumphant. Those are the rulers of Hell. Yeah,
exactly. And then below them are just minor demons, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do everything, handle everything. Back in the day, people thought and knew that was the quickest way to do something. If you want to do something magically, you know why it's the quickest way to do something magically? Because it's the very scariest way. And you better believe that. But it might be a heavy price to pay. That's what the book always warns. Might be a heavy price to pay once the demon goes and does your bidding.
Yeah, you know, there's the argument that in order to really have a beneficial experience with a demon, you have to be of that demon's bloodline. Like you have to be blood related to it when it was alive at some point. Otherwise, it's just gonna like screw you over down the road. I mean, I don't personally believe that, but it's one thing I've heard.
I know, but it's a weird thing that sits powerfully into people's consciousness sometimes. That's a pretty heavy, weird thing to have in your consciousness, that you have a deal with a demon that you have to eventually meet and make do with. It's the whole thing about the music, meeting at the crossroads. The devil meeting you down at the crossroads to give you the hit song or give you the ability to play, right?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's probably better to not mess with demons at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
my advice, don't mess with them if you don't have to. But if you have to or want to and you're feeling bold and confident enough, go for it.
Yeah.
What was that one guest you had? what's that famous EA co-editing?
EA, yeah.
Their most famous devil worshiper.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really bad about him because I really feel like he was a decent guy and he kind of had just all his work wiped out. I just, that sucks.
Did he? What'd they do? They called him a racist. They called him a.
No, it's much worse than that.
They said he killed somebody.
No, they said this guy that did kill some people, they claim that he was inspired by EA, even though EA was just one of the authors that this guy had on his bookshelf. They kind of wanted to blame him for it.
Satanic panic.
Yes.
They used him as a scapegoat. Look at this demonic figure. Look at this devil worshiper. EA's too cool. If you're out there, EA, shout out.
I mean, he wasn't telling anybody to go kill anybody. I could say that for sure. And to blame him for an act like that, I mean, first of all, people are responsible for their own actions. And if anybody that followed EA and his work and his YouTube channel, I would say it was 99.9% positive stuff. It was just, discussing history and magic. And he'd have all kinds of great guests coming on there. Like I was literally at one point I was on there every day.
Not to mention he was taking risk you wouldn't.
Yeah.
He's like an explorer. He's like a psychonaut. He's out there discovering things that you're not brave enough to do. Yeah. And report back from.
Exactly. He was a great guest in the least sense.
Yeah. He's a great guest.
Somebody, I feel like I learned a lot about magic from him specifically. He was a good teacher. And he's still around. I mean, he's had a lot of his content wiped out, but
why don't you get him on here? Why don't you fucking reach out and bring him back on here, see what the fuck he's up to?
Because I'll probably wipe out my whole channel.
Just remove your channel. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I've got handcuffs on these days.
Never mind.
Well, we'll see about that. I'm not going to say never. Because he's
the
still
Order of the Nine Angles. Here we go. Skate and Destroy knows some things. The Order of the Nine Angles group seems like some kind of a Fed-run operation. Lots of weirdness with that whole thing. Exactly, Skate and Destroy. You're paying attention, obviously. The Order of the Nine Angles they put out as the spookiest group you've ever heard of. Oh, white supremacist killing. There's some story there. There's a story there of the founder of the Nine Angles. He's on their list of FBI's most wanted criminals or whatever, most dangerous characters. I'd have to go brush up on that.
This Skate and Destroy says they try to say EA was tied to them, if I remember right. He was actually a member of their order at one point, but the thing about the Order of Nine Angles, anybody can claim that. Like anybody can go out there and say, "Yeah, I was Order of Nine Angles." It's kind of like if you're Antifa, like anybody could say, "Oh yeah, I'm part of Antifa." If there's no specific membership.
You're not Antifa, are you, Logan?
What's that?
Are you Antifa?
Nope.
Just checking.
I'm a fascist, sir.
You're a fascist?
I believe in a strong economy and a strong military.
Yeah, I'm a constitutionalist myself. If we just stick to the Constitution, I think we'll be okay.
I'm a get me the fuck out of this world-ist. I don't want to participate in any of that stuff. I want to be raptured up and not even worry about any of that crap or be involved in any country or government
just want
or
to be
society.
Sucked out of here to join Jesus, be wed with Jesus.
I'm done with the 3D realm. I just hate everything about it, and all the people here that are just stupid and shallow, and they just want to have sex and make money. And I'm done with them. I want to go to a higher place.
Speaking of having sex and money, did you watch the video I sent you recently, Daniel? That one chick, Skyfree area.
I think so.
Did you watch it?
I think so.
No, I'd know if you did. You didn't watch it, but that's all right.
Well, cool. Thank you for forgiving me.
It is all good.
William Ramsey thinks the ONA is behind the smiley face killings.
Yeah,
that's a scary thought.
He guests on William Ramsey's one of them. That smiley face killings was spooky shit.
Yeah, he kind of hit me up on Twitter.
Hey guys, I'm gonna Guys, I'm gonna go bounce for a little bit. I'm gonna go do a little ritual thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of getting
Well,
not really bored, but I
try to
just
throw
want to be active.
Try to throw into the ritual that Daniel's show tonight will be incredible. You know, try to get something like that in there too, Logan.
Oh, like I'll be on Twitter. I'll be on Twitter, and I'll be on Twitter broadcasting for probably about 12 hours.
Well, there you go. Send us a link too, and pray that this show of Daniel's is his biggest one.
All right, take it easy, Logan. See you next time, buddy.
Take care, Logan. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, you guys are awesome. It's always good to see you guys, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. I posted a link down in the private chat, so I'll see you guys later.
Oh, that's cool. Right on. Peace. So, and then there were the two craziest ones.
Yep, it ended up being a show. What can I say? I mean, the guests didn't show up, but I feel almost like it was a good thing because we ended up putting together a hell of a panel and having a fun discussion. So I can say that in some cases, I'm sure we'll be touching base with Zero and getting him on here, but sometimes it works out and ends up being actually a better show.
No, but tell him, get your ass over here because this is the place to lay down your stuff. Hoping you'd get him on here. I was going to read down the list of demons. We were going to go through all the demons, you know.
Yeah, a lot of guests are kind of like
demonologists.
A lot of guests are kind of afraid of the show now because we do talk about magic and demons and stuff like that. And
the Order of the Nine Angles, they think you're a white supremacist black magician over there, Dan.
Yeah, because I'm bald.
Where did we go wrong? Yeah.
Oh, he must be.
You look like
a satanic skinhead. He's got the skull and bones behind him.
He's got the bald head, the skull and bones. We just need to get you a cloak and some devil horns, and it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I'll probably grow those. I've got a horrible reputation at this point. I'll never be on with George Norrie.
You're like the Alice Cooper. You're like the Alice Cooper song.
Yeah, I'm the Alice Cooper of paranormal podcasting.
Hey, got a hold of my show.
My God. Well, hey, I got some news stories, Todd.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let me grab a beer.
Okay.
All right.
Of course. You know, you guys, I'm really liking what's going on with the show because
I like this stuff.
The spontaneousness. There's something about it. Oh, we got Lee.
Like Howard Stern was cool. Yeah.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. I had to pop out and get some green cosmic medicine.
There you go.
I'm about to get some of that myself.
I should get some of that too. Yeah, send me some of that.
Logan was teasing me when he was hitting that pipe before.
Oh, I know that smoke coming out. God, I quit smoking like 3 weeks ago. I quit smoking 3 weeks ago, so I'm like,
"Oh, have you, mate?"
I got that nervous energy, like I should be smoking something.
Yeah. Okay, you mate.
But no, you picked the perfect time to come back. We're going through the news roundup. Go on, Daniel. What's the news story?
And Lee, like, I'm not going to say, you know, what you should do one way or another, but Logan's always trying to get me into those little private chats, and I always tell him no.
He's just messaged me actually saying I can join his ritual.
Yeah.
Is it just you and him?
Yeah. I mean, he did that to me one time, and he brought me into this like little like room that was like this little movie theater, and he started like showing me this whole presentation.
Right on Skate and Destroy.
Yeah, I was just like, man, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I love you, Logan, but
put some colored lights. Colored lights can hypnotize now, woman. Like an American Woman song.
Well, basically what it was, he was showing me clips from this like Star Wars animated series, and it had like these little lessons in between them.
On the Force?
Yeah.
On the Force? Right.
I don't know. He has this whole thing he does. I mean, power to him.
Oh, that's cool. We love all of our days guys.
Yeah, everybody's different, mate. And I think if we were all the same, it would be a boring fucking world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I love having him on this show, because he is an interesting guy at the end of the day.
Unique, mate. Yeah. I've heard back from Zero as well, mate. I think, like you said, the time zone. He thought it was 12
I knew that had to be it.
Gutted, really, because you have to get him on again, mate. Zero is highly recommending, mate. He's solid,
Well, if you
solid
talk
as
to
they
him,
come.
tell him
Absolutely.
we're gonna. If you talk to him again, General Lee, tell him we're gonna bring up every demon, right?
Yeah,
we're gonna go down.
Yeah, he'll love that,
we're gonna
mate.
read all the demons.
Well, we'll see about getting him on next week. I'm sure it'll work out. If we have to, I'll do a little bit earlier.
They tried to smear. Daniel and I were just talking about how they tried to smear some of Daniel's guests, EA co-editing, because he was associated with the Order of the Nine Angles. The Order
I would
of
love
the
to
Nine
get him on,
Angles
mate.
has a connection over in England too.
It does, mate. Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, that is where this group, the Atomwaffen, they're called the Atomwaffen, started.
Yeah,
that word.
It's basically, mate. There's a couple of factions, like groups, consolidated into the Order Nine Angles.
Mm-hmm. They tried to smear chaos magic. They tried to smear chaos magic with that story.
Yeah, it's got a bit of well, allegedly, it's got a bit of everything in it, like druidic. You've got your, like you said, chaos magic.
Aryan.
Yeah. I mean, more allegedly, groups like Combat 18, etc., have merged to become the. But again, it's like anything, mate.
Nowadays, nowadays, anybody that doesn't agree with what they think, you're a Nazi now, though. So just realize that if you're against the message of where they want to take the world, you're a Nazi. So
I had another guy on here that was part of the Order of Nine Angles. Tyler, I'm sure you remember him, Todd.
Yep, totally. I like that show.
Yeah, that guy had some issues. He was just doing some real nasty sort of stuff.
Dark.
So I kind of like, some really dark stuff. So I kind of like.
Was it Tyler who did the tarot? His own tarot?
Yes, he does his tarot.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd love to get him on as well. I'd love to get EA Quetting on and Tyler.
Tarot.
Love to.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad guy, Daniel. I don't think he's one of these Nazis that everybody's trying to get you scared about.
No,
once they use the word Nazi so many times, it loses its potency. You know.
He told me that he sacrificed a cat, and I'm a cat lover.
Oh,
so it just really like rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, I'm not really cool with that sort of thing. If you want to like mess with these demons, that's cool, but I mean, don't kill animals. I mean, I can't say that I have much to do with somebody after they reveal something like that.
That's illegal. That's illegal too.
Dan,
yeah.
You had a guest on a couple of years ago. He's from England. He's got, I think he's an author, and I'm sure the episode you did was about, it was either the Anunnaki or the angelic pantheon. Is it Sabbath or perhaps he had a funny name?
Sabbath. Yeah, I remember him. He's from England. Remember he dressed sharp?
Yes.
Daniel, he had a vest on. He wore a vest.
Yes, I'm after getting him as well. He did say he'd come on, but I think he was writing a new book at the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot think about who this is.
I'll have a look on your content list, mate, and I'll send you a DM with his name on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be more than happy to hook you up with him as long as I know who you're referring to.
He presents himself really, really well.
Yeah. Also, I would love to get you on my show, Todd.
And generally, if you just send me the links, I'm not a computer guy. Literally, I do not want to even look at the computer except to watch Daniel's show and call in.
Yeah.
That's no, I read the news on the computer. But send me a link again, and I'll come over there.
Lee, you should get on StreamYard. That way people can just use their smartphones. Like Todd uses his smartphone, and if you were on StreamYard, he could just connect with his phone. It'd make things a little easier for you.
Well, I use Skype, and I do everything on my phone anyway. So Skype's spot on for me. Yeah, Skype. I'll just send you a link. You don't have to download anything. Just click on it.
There you go.
It'll be audio only. That's how I always do audio
only. The less complex, the better.
Yeah.
Just getting on this thing was, because it's not on this yet.
But what day is the best for you, Todd?
Weekends.
Weekends.
Every other
Right, okay.
weekend. Ask me ahead of time a little bit.
Right,
Every
no
other
problem, mate.
weekend. Saturday's the
Saturday.
best.
Right, okay,
Yep.
mate. What time? Like late like this?
Yeah, noon's
Right,
good
okay.
because then I'm not smashed. You call you early, I'm not completely.
I admire your honesty. I love it. I
I'm just
admire your
teasing.
honesty, mate.
You got to get Todd when he's like not super smashed, but not sober. When he's just a little
Daniel's
bit
had me
smashed.
on here for 5-hour shows, but I'm like,
That's when he hits his
"Oh."
crescendo. Oh
At the
yeah.
end of the show,
By the
like,
end of it, he's just drooling all over himself. We had that one show where we both got drunk. That was a pretty good one.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, a drinking show is always good. You should call a drinking show or a smoking show, Daniel. You should do like a 420 show. You should have did a 420 show where everybody burns. Yeah. No,
I don't smoke anymore though.
you don't smoke anymore? Look
No.
at you up there in Washington taking care of your lungs. Yeah.
I just eat it. You get way higher.
There you go. Well, just eat it, smoke it, whatever. You should have did a
Yeah, you
420
can't beat
show.
edibles, mate, can you? Cannot beat them.
Those are always great shows, Daniel, where you take a slug, you finally take a little drink and you stop your teetotaling.
I don't
Over
like
there,
being
that
high
would
on
be
the
fun.
show because I forget what the hell I'm talking about. I'll be thinking
True.
about something real deep and talking. I'll be like, "Oh,
Shit
what was I
gets
talking
stupid.
about?"
Shit gets pretty stupid on those shows, but
Yeah, whatever benefit from the mind expanding is just like it's ruined by the fact that I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about or hold any sort of train of thought.
I just think it's cool that you have a show where people can fucking come and listen and unwind and relax and hear the weirdest, wildest shit that anybody's putting out there in a relaxed environment, Daniel, where it's like no pressure. There isn't Alex Jones going, "The frogs are turning gay," although we could do that if we wanted to, but no, it's best show in the world.
There's a place for stuff like that. I mean, there's so
Totally.
many shows that are kind of along those lines, and you know, I got tired of doing the same type of show myself, so I kind of like just doing this sort of loose, you know, anybody that can call in. Like Todd, you kind of made me want to do a show more like this because you were telling me early on over and over, oh, you know what I like, Daniel? I love when you do a show where anybody can call in at any time. You just kept pounding that into my head, and finally I was like, you know what? Maybe Todd's right. Maybe there's kind of something to that.
Yeah, average people are more fucking interesting than seasoned guests that are floating around year after year.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
Now it's
some
like,
of them
I
have
want to
got
hear
egos as well, mate, haven't they?
egos and selling a book and fucking. I want to hear somebody real. I don't want a hand. Hand response. I'll go home and do some research. If Daniel's doing a show, I'll look through some books and think of, write some notes. But I'm tired of these canned shows, and you do the best kind of show, Daniel, every time.
Yeah, and like Lee was saying, it looks like we lost him again, but some of these people that do the circuit, they do have the most gigantic egos. And, you just say like the wrong thing to them, or they want you to do certain things when they're on. And it's like, come on, man. I'm a person too. I might not be like an author with all these books, but I'm a human being. Like, you don't have to treat me like I'm just some fucking shitty weirdo podcaster.
And when I come on your show, you must feed me grapes. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And fan me while I'm on. Oh.
Yeah, I was talking about that too. Michael Deacon, and he had a guy that was telling him when he was interviewing this guy, he had to wear a suit.
Michael did.
yeah, he was supposed to wear a suit.
Because he wants the show to be more high class.
Something like that.
Yeah. If he's making an appearance, we got to wear ties. There you go. Wouldn't that be cool if you and I come on with some suit and ties, Daniel?
I'm not wearing a damn suit. And if I did, it would be some shitty mismatched suit from the Goodwill.
Some shitty mismatch, like fucking not checker, but
like one of those old guy suits.
One of those plaid suits.
I'm not that type of person. I'm not a suit guy. I don't dress
one of those
myself
dead man. What you need is one of those dead man suits from the store that doesn't fit right. That would look perfect. Like the guy from the Pulse.
I'm the type of guy, I'll wear a t-shirt and a baseball cap, and you'll never see me going above and beyond that. I'm not trying to impress anybody.
Yeah, I wear a baseball cap.
I think that
for your show, I take it off, out of respect.
I think that Walmart is a great place to buy clothes. If that kind of
everything
sums
I
up.
own comes from Walmart. No, not quite, not
Well,
quite.
you got kind of a cool getup on. Like you got a shirt with some kind of like eagle design on it, and
Oh yeah, I got the American Eagle. I love fucking American Eagle. They make nice clothing.
You're dressed kind of
They make
slick
nice
today.
clothing. Well, I'm a slick motherfucker, as you know. Look at this hoodie.
Where'd you get that?
Look at this hoodie. It's functional. I can not only go outside, survive the elements, rain, snow, but I can come back in and do rituals. I'm already dressed the part, so it doubles.
Todd, we got some news stories to talk about.
Kidding. I want to hear these news stories. Let's do these news stories, Daniel. Come on, let's do it.
So, all the celebrities on Twitter just lost their blue check marks. They're just normal humans.
Unless they pay $8, they don't get a blue check mark. But if they pay $8, they'll get a blue check mark, and Elon Musk will guarantee that that's Oprah. Go on.
Yes, exactly.
But celebrities don't want to pay for it because they don't like Elon, right?
Well, they're cheap.
Elon.
They're also cheap.
Cheap. Yeah, they are cheap and left wing. And man, I can't think of an actor I like. Can't stand fucking what's his nuts? That one that plays in the mafia movies.
Oh,
fucking that hates Trump.
Al Pacino or
but his friend Robert De Niro can't stand De Niro. Get the fuck out of here.
Fantastic actor and been in a lot of classics.
Fantastic actor. Yeah, I think he probably blew somebody.
Fuck off with your politics, Robert De Niro.
Get the fuck out of here, you scumbag. Call the United States a punk, a mook. You're the mook. You're a punk.
You're the mook.
Get the fuck out of here with your movies. Yeah, we don't want to see your movies no more.
Or Alyssa Milano. She's all mad about the blue check mark
thing. I like her, but she's cute, but fuck, she's crazed Hollywood liberal.
She's cute, but her personality is not cute.
No, she is fucking rabid. She's a rabid left-wing Hollywood wacko.
Lunatic lib.
Look at lunatic libs. We all know you're out there. Remember that song Lunatic Fringe, Daniel? Lunatic Fringe.
So the idea is you pay $8 for this check mark, and you can write these long ass tweets, and your tweets are going to be more visible than the people that don't have it. Maybe I should get it because then people would actually be able to read my tweets again. Since I'm back to being totally censored, like I made a tweet about
Twitter.
Yeah, like after Elon took over, he's like, "Oh, this is going to be free." Blah blah blah. But no, I'm getting throttled. I'm getting shadow banned. It's worse than it's ever been. It's just it was all ruse.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all ruse. Man, I'm going to send you $8 immediately so you can get that blue check mark. I will do that, Daniel.
That's okay. I mean, if you want to donate, that's great. But I don't think I'm going to be. I think I'm going to like start getting onto some of these other platforms. I mean, everybody's on this Twitter and
Rumble and
yeah, we'll see. I'll spread myself a little thinner.
Man, I'm spooked that this stuff's all becoming. This is exactly what we were worried about, scared about. The whole world is coming under the influence of social media and the internet. People don't trust the TV anymore. You can still look at it and it'll tell you like the basic news stories, but it's all propaganda. So everything's moving to the internet. It's 1984.
1984 meets Terminator, meets Jurassic Park, meets et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting fucking spooky. So I say we get you a blue check mark and you go on there and raise hell like you used to do. I haven't seen you as much on Twitter. Maybe they're shadow banning.
Probably.
You used to tweet all the time.
Because I'm
I'm
also working a lot. Like I'm working like 50 hours a week. So weekends I kind of jump on there, but fuck, I hate working, man. I'm too old for this shit. Like
who can withstand this? Daniel, you're still young enough. Hold on there. And everybody out there listening, please send Daniel goddamn $10 right now.
Yeah, free me from work.
Just send him fucking $10.
Yeah.
If 300 people are listening and they're sending you $10, fucking get him up out of that Seattle jungle.
I'm lazy, and I'm lazy towards things I don't want to do, but I do want to do this show. So,
but you would do this amazingly.
Yes, I'll do it 5 days a week.
So please, if you're a guest, if you're someone listening that likes his show, send in $10 fucking. What the fuck do we have to do to get your money?
Please help.
He's not doing commercials. Every show in the world has a goddamn commercial. Daniel, are you still paying for your own server?
Yeah.
Fuck. Come
I'm in the
on,
minus
people.
all the time.
Come on, people now. Send Daniel $10. Everybody get together.
Hey, that's a pretty good one.
Send Daniel $10 now.
Now.
Right now.
And shout out to everybody that has donated in the past.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I personally thank you. Like I would say all of your names, but I know you don't want that because you want to be anonymous. But thank you
And
so
no one
much
wants
for
to
helping
hear
the
that
show.
either. Yeah, it would ruin the show, like other shows that ruin their show.
Also, Todd, Seattle. This is kind of local news, but they are banning assault weapons, including the AR-15, the SKS, the AK-47, anything that can be construed as an assault weapon. They are banning them. So I will not be able to purchase an AR-15. I'm upset. I'm angry.
You won't be able to add that to your giant gun collection, bitch.
Yeah. That's what I get for sleeping on it.
You can drive over here to Utah and we can help you out. Yeah.
I might end up moving like to Florida or something.
Florida, man, you are a crazy bastard. Go right from the frying pan to the fire. Okay, go for it.
Isn't Florida like conservative and they let you do anything?
Yeah, but they're on the ocean and the oceans are going to rise any minute 300 feet and fucking that whole state will be underwater.
Oh, damn it.
So why would you want to go there?
Well, the main thing keeping me out of there are the alligators. The alligators and crocodiles and all that.
Well, Ron DeSantis kind of is in trouble these last couple of weeks because he thinks he could be president over Trump. And that just ain't happening.
Yeah, why are they pushing this DeSantis guy so much? What's so special about him? Can you explain that to me?
He's a swamp creature. I heard he was a JAG lawyer.
So that's why they like him.
I heard he was a lawyer at Guantanamo.
Oh shit.
A JAG officer. Yeah.
This guy's.
Wouldn't you love a president that sat over Guantanamo as a lawyer, watching people get tortured? Doesn't that sound like a great guy to run your country? I like it, Daniel. He's tough on crime. Yeah.
I don't trust any of these people.
Terrorists. If he's, and this is the key to all that shit, if he was really sitting over there in Guantanamo Bay watching people get hummus enemas, I think we gotta kind of think twice about whether we want that to be the supreme commander.
Also, they are passing a law that says if your kid is trans, they don't have to tell you, and the school can actually take the child away from the parent, take them to a special facility, chop off their wee-wee, and raise them as the opposite gender.
The state will pay for an Uber if your child suddenly feels that they have to be genetically
not even an Uber. Government officials will come in, they will take your child, and they will take them to a private facility that's funded by us.
Yeah.
And then there they will chop off their breasts or their wee-wee, and they will be raised.
Process to turning these people into some weird.
Todd, are you familiar with the concept of Hitler Youth?
Yeah, totally.
That's what this is. This is the trans Hitler Youth movement. Yeah. The state is taking control of your children. The government, it says they're not your kids, they're our kids. It doesn't matter if they're under 18. They will be taken.
And you're not paying attention. You're not listening to your kids as they're being whisked off by the government to secret facilities to start chopping off their body parts.
If you don't let that child chop off their wee-wee, they could commit suicide. And that's why you are a piece of shit.
And you could be held criminally responsible if you don't allow your child to feel comfortable with their transition, their gender transition. Wow, Daniel, can you imagine putting all these resources into that?
Hermes Aphrodite. Hermaphrodite.
Of all the shit you could put government resources into, here's what they want to do, everybody. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, we want to chop those wee-wees off, and
make
I
some
think
kind
it's
of
just
weird monstrosity out of your child.
yeah.
Please wake up, parents, if you're not aware that they're confusing kids about their sexual orientation and then helping them fast as possible chop off their fucking body parts.
This is like with the the H.P. Lovecraft, the Eldritch gods, where we don't even understand their motivations because they are so complicated. That's what this is. I don't understand this trans stuff. What the motivation is, why all these freaking demonic beings want this, why it's being filtered into our society. I don't understand it. It is just bizarre, and it has something to do with hermaphrodite.
It also has to do with destroying the fabric of our society, I think, is what they're doing. They're trying to undermine. They're like digging tunnels underneath our society that will collapse eventually. Once they get enough of these tunnels dug, the whole fucking thing's just gonna go into a hole. And then China and Russia will be right there ready to shoot nuclear bombs at us while we're draining our resources and our oil and our dollar being de-dollarized.
Yeah.
End of the world.
All right, Todd. We went over 2 hours. I'm gonna call it a show. Go
Once
ahead.
America's gone, there isn't no fucking shining light on the hill. America's the end. If it changes here, all the rest of you people, the bets are all off. Yeah, you're on your own.
Well, for me, taking the guns away, that's it. I mean, that's the turning point of now we are in the satanic years.
Yeah, and guys will dress in skirts and girls will dress as men, and yeah.
But I'm going to call this show, Todd. So,
sounds
hop
good.
up on your soapbox.
What a great show, Daniel. No, my only soapbox is please fucking donate to Daniel's show. I love this bitch. Come on, everybody. And love you, Daniel.
Brother, everybody get together. I love that.
Come on, people now. Smile on your brothers. Everybody get together. Try to love one another
right now.
Right now. Oh, people now. All right, Daniel. Love you, buddy.
All
My
right.
wife's need to stop singing, so I guess it is time to end the show.
All right, buddy. I will talk
brother.
to you. Hopefully, you'll make it next week when we have Zero on. All right.
Not next week. 2 weeks from now. Yeah, bring him on 2 weeks from now. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Peace. All right. That was Todd the Bod. Yeah, the guest did not show up today, so we ended up doing some round tabling, little panel discussion. But you know what? I love doing that, so no complaints here. I love when we have everybody on here, just free form, free consciousness. Thank you to General Lee. Thank you to Logan. Helped me start off the show. Big shout out to him. Todd, as usual, great personality. Always very thankful to have him as part of the show here. And none of these guys have to do that, have to show up. I mean, they just do it because it's fun, and they do it as a favor to me. And that's that. It's just they're fucking great. That's what I'm trying to say. They're fucking great. I'm gonna call the show. Let's do sports real quick. Seattle Kraken still doing phenomenal. I do want to wrap things up so I can go watch the playoff game. They're tied 1-1 with the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche were getting pretty nasty in the last game. Being very violent, very destructive. Great hockey. I'm kind of a newcomer to hockey, but I'm just loving it so far. Also, Shohei Ohtani, he will be becoming a free agent after this season of baseball, so he could wind up anywhere. He could wind up on any team out there. As those of you that aren't sports fanatics, Ohtani is special because he's not only a great hitter, he's also a great pitcher. And baseball hasn't really had a talent like him since Babe Ruth. He may even be better than Babe Ruth. That's what level this guy is at. He's a freak of nature. And I'm excited to see where he winds up. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a video floating around of I think it's like a junior high or high school wrestling competition. And this is wrestling, like amateur wrestling, where guys are actually wrestling. I don't mean like pro wrestling, but this video is going viral, and it shows these guys are having a wrestling match, and the loser, as they're finishing up and the winner's being congratulated, the loser walks up and he punches him in the face and he knocks him out cold. I just want to comment on that because I did a little of the wrestling in high school, and I'm disgusted by this young man. He's such a poor sport. He cannot handle the loss. He has to get up and punch this guy in the face. And he could actually cause this guy to have brain damage. It's disgusting, disgusting poor sportsmanship, and it just shows the times that we're in. This like mentality, this mentality of violence, that you cannot even compete or complete a sports activity without just taking things way off the rails and committing an act of bodily harm. So shame on that young man. And shame on anybody that can't be a good sport, because if you are that way, you should be nowhere near any type of competition. It's disgusting. Also, jumping over to the world of pro wrestling, CM Punk is slated to make his return. That's the big buzz going around the pro wrestling world. Now we're talking about pro wrestling, but CM Punk, he has a lot of fans out there. He kind of has his own cult following. As you know, he was a wrestler for AEW, but there was a infamous media scrum where he went off on some of the guys in the back, which led to a huge backstage altercation between CM Punk and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. CM Punk's trainer was involved. He was biting Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was trying to protect CM Punk's dog. For some reason, he loves dogs. And CM Punk ended up stepping away from AEW, and we've all been kind of wondering what the hell is going to happen to him. But reports are in that he is in good spirits, and he does want to return. And there is a big meeting slated to happen between him, Tony Khan, and Chris Jericho with with FTR, the tag team FTR. They're going to kind of mediate. So I'm hoping it goes well. I've kind of become a little bit of a fan of CM Punk. I think he's really entertaining, and he's really, I think the pro wrestling world needs him, and I hope that he can calm himself down enough that he's able to work with some of these guys. And I'm a really big fan of Chris Jericho as well. I've definitely followed his career, the way that he reinvents himself, and I love his wrestling style. And I'm hoping that these two can put their heads together and come out of the meeting on the same page, because pro wrestling is not in the best shape right now. It's not popular like it used to be, and we need AEW really needs this. They need this in order to compete, and they need this in order to keep wrestling alive and not just completely monopolized by the same company. And that's pretty much all I have. Jumping off of the sports stuff, I did want to talk a little bit about the new Godzilla trailer. As you know, the Godzilla vs. Kong sequel trailer came out, and it's very ominous. It shows this creature that looks kind of like an orangutan or a gorilla with red fur, and it's sitting on a throne. Then it shows the Godzilla and King Kong skulls. They're kind of got this smoky, fluorescent smoke coming out of them. I'm excited for it. I'm a huge kaiju fan. I love the Godzilla movies. I know that the King of All Monsters, that particular movie didn't do as well, but Godzilla vs. Kong did. And it's not that it made way more money, but Godzilla vs. Kong profited, whereas King of the Monsters did not make profit. It cost more to make the movie, and I don't think they even broke even. So, depending on whether or not this movie does good will probably mean whether or not we get any more Godzilla or kaiju movies in general. It's very hard to get people to watch movies nowadays. There's a lot of competition out there. unless it's some big event like Avengers or this or that. It's kind of hard to make money off of movies. And I would really hate to see these type of movies go away because they're very entertaining and there's not really much out there, you know. The problem is, like when I was a kid, movies would come out and it would take a year before they even came out on VHS. And then you're watching it on the old CRT televisions. Whereas now these movies come out they go to the theaters, they come out on Blu-ray and direct download like 3 months later, and then they come out on all the streaming services, and you can watch them in HD with your surround sound system and whatnot. So there's not a whole lot of motivation to go to a movie theater where half the audience is going to be pulling out their smartphones. It's just annoying. So I'm keeping my eye on that. I'm thinking that Flash movie looks interesting. I like the Flash TV show, even though it's gotten really crappy recently. I just love superhero movies. I love the Flash, but it's the same thing. These movies haven't been doing as well. They're just pounding them out one after the other, and they're not really capturing the audience that they once did. I remember any comic book movie would always have a huge audience, was a huge deal. Now it's like, another one? Who's this guy? Who's Moon Knight? Why should I even care about this? And that's kind of the mentality. Disney owns Marvel now, and they've just exploited the hell out of it, just like they've done to Star Wars. But we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, movie making is not dead. I'm a big fan of the movies. I'm sure we'll at least always have stuff coming out on the streaming services. And that's pretty much all I got. That's all I got. I am disappointed that our guest didn't make it, but like I said, the guys I had on panel today were phenomenal. And personally, I feel like it's fun when we have a panel. I mean, the feedback I get, everybody loves it. I have fun doing it. Preferably, we have a good guest and a panel. That's like the ultimate show, in my opinion. But hey, I had fun. We had some laughs. I thank you guys for joining us. I am going to go ahead and release this show. From now on, if I have a situation like this, I'm still going to try to do a show because I know people out there, they still want to hear End of Days Radio and not necessarily, there doesn't necessarily have to be a guest on. I hear time and time again, Daniel, just do a show and just whatever. So that's what I'll do. I'll just do a show, whatever. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about whatever. We'll talk a little bit of sports. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that. But we're going to keep doing this every weekend. I'm not going to not release a show just because the guests didn't show up. But anyways, love you guys. I thank you so much for showing up. And I will talk to you next time.
From the beginning.
And I was shown that that Lucifer would return, that the UN and the Vatican were going to be completely behind it, again, under false pretenses. He's going to show up and say, I'm here to save the day, right? And okay, fine,
Yeah, of
go
course,
ahead,
you can
try
say
it.
whatever you want.
But
I've always hated censorship. It's the internet.
Sometimes, once they get you for your first love bite, well, it depends on how aware you are, right?
I forgot my bullets. I never had a gun. Here I am left standing. Am I the only one? For what I see, memories have guilted me. I'll never see the sun.
First of all, as you know, the Anunnaki and the Draco are enemies. Second of all, underneath Baghdad was a stargate that was created by the Anunnaki so that they could transfer from Jupiter to the Earth.
I'll never see the sun. I could just end it all, but the demons will have won.
Practitioners that some are good and some use their magic for good and to heal and to help, and others do use it for evil. And in some cases, people really were
This is too much sometimes.